It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: millions of pounds lost in failed Bedfordshire Naira project, police name Buckinghamshire murder victim, and council release survey about public perception of Luton.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project, but after 8 years it hasn't been built, and it appears that nearly all the money's been lost. More from Tony Fisher.
Planning permission for Naira expired in September last year after the scheme failed to raise the necessary funding. Now the 140-acre Questpit site near Sturtby has been sold to a company formed just 2 months ago. Administrators say the return to the taxpayer is minimal. Meanwhile, the government says it's disappointed Naira did not become a reality.
Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. Thames Valley Police say she'd been strangled. Her murder investigation is underway. A 50-year-old man from Hayes who was arrested on suspicion of murder has been released without charge. David Cameron is to formally present his proposals for European Union reform at a summit in Brussels today. It's the first time the issue of renegotiating Britain's membership has been put before all the EU leaders. Luton Borough Council have released a survey outlining people's perceptions of Luton. Of the 957 people who completed it, almost half had what was termed a negative or strongly negative view, citing words such as overcrowded and dangerous to describe the town. More from Sophie Solaria.
Luton Borough Council commissioned the survey so it could paint an accurate picture of people's perception of the town. 43% of those rated their experience of Luton as either fairly or very negative. As well as submitting words such as dangerous and dirty to describe the town, more than a quarter cited crime levels to be an issue, while others said Luton lacked integration and held a bad reputation.
A motorcyclist has been airlifted to hospital with multiple injuries after a head-on collision with a car in Hertfordshire yesterday evening. It happened just before 6 p.m. on the B656 Codicott Road between Hitchin and Langley Village. And a pillion passenger was airlifted to hospital with serious leg injuries after a collision between a motorbike and a car in Eaton Road in Aylesbury yesterday lunchtime. Talks about the Greek debt crisis will resume in Brussels later after a failure to reach agreement last night. Eurozone finance ministers cut short a meeting that was intended to finalise a deal. Giraffes at Whipsnade Zoo in Bedfordshire have been undergoing walking tests so researchers can work out whether their long legs are a help or a hindrance. They'll also try to understand why giraffes developed such long limbs. In sport, England under-21s are out of the European Championships after a 3-1 defeat to Italy. The weather: sunny spells with some cloud but feeling warm, a maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
I'm really sorry, Simon. Just give me that story about giraffes again.
Are their long legs a help or a hindrance?
Well, to them it's a help. They're giraffes.
You think so, yeah.
And who's doing this research to discover why they've got long legs?
Scientists. They're using the giraffes at Whipsnade Zoo, just up the road from where we sit in leafy Dunstable.
Local and vocal. What noise does a giraffe make?
Yeah,
this is a tough one, isn't it? There's the phone in. Why do giraffes have long legs? Thank you, Simon. I mean, are they a help or a hindrance? Well, you know, to giraffes, they're a help. Otherwise, their necks would they'd topple over, wouldn't they? Why do they have long legs? I guess that's, I don't know, evolution? They really go and find a cure for cancer, guys. Is AIDS sorted now, is it? Oh, all right, fair play. Can you believe that? That's the phone in, Catherine. Why do giraffes have long legs?
Excellent.
Why are you so short? Because I've got little legs. It's 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Where are you going? Oh, yeah, OK, that's it. Back to the old ways. So, the phone in this morning is... that's what Dealey's going to...
Yeah, of course it is.
I can just imagine Dealey taking that to the streets. I can hear it already. Why have giraffes got long legs, mate? Is it because they're arrogant? Dealey, you know what to do. I suspect something for the podcast will be coming up in the first hour.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Why have giraffes got long... Are you... Does Simon just every now and then slip one in, if you'll excuse the innuendo, just to see if we're paying attention? Does he get bored? I mean, I like Simon. I don't know Simon very well, but he's a very quiet, studious. He's very studious in the office. And
Dignified.
Dignified is definitely a word. And you sometimes wonder whether he's going insane, properly like Falling Down, Michael Douglas in Falling Down, Defence, and his equivalent of going postal is luckily he's not turned up with a gun yet and some grenades,
that we know of.
But we've never looked in his bag. But he just makes that story about giraffes can't be real. Scientists are looking to see if their legs are a hindrance or a help. They're giraffes. What about my long legs? What about my long legs? Are they a help or a hindrance?
Giraffes have been working pretty well for generations, haven't they?
Well,
the leg thing would have been a problem before now.
The first giraffe was invented, 150 years ago, I'm going to say?
Maybe 52, yeah.
Something like that. So, come on, guys. I went and saw a film last night that I wasn't really expecting much of, the Brian Wilson film.
I heard it was going to be...
I heard it was a stinker. Instead, it was weird... there was a really weird... none of you are going to go and see it, so I can say what I want. There was a really weird homage to to Kubrick's 2001.
Oh.
Have you ever seen 2001?
Yes.
Do you remember the ending? Spoiler alert, guys. The film is over 40 years old. What happens at the end of 2001?
Well, all I'm thinking about 2001 is that music and someone spinning in space.
Yeah, OK, well, that's the beginning, so that's as far as you got.
It's a long time ago.
The end of 2001, right, when he goes mad, I don't know what, I don't remember it, really.
Does he end up in the Eden Project or something?
No, you're thinking of, what's the film where the guy called Bruce has plants in space? Silent Running. You're thinking of Silent Running. No. This, in 2001, there's a bit where he's himself, and he looks over there, and then there's him as an old man, and then it cuts into him as an old man, and he looks over there, and there's him as a baby.
Right.
That happens in the Brian Wilson film. He's in bed, he looks up, there's younger him, then he looks down, then there's him as a baby. Brilliant. It went half good. There were some bits that were wrong, and there's just something about John Cusack. I liked... People who look old now, John Cusack.
But he's always looked old, hasn't he?
No. I suspect that he's... we'll turn the television off. I don't need to see footage of that blooming bomb again in Boston from all those years ago. He looks old now. There's some weird wigature going on as well, definitely. There's a lot of wigature going on. They are wigging out in that film. It's a good film. I like 80s Brian Wilson when it's all about him being controlled by his psychiatrist.
Landy.
Yeah, Dr. Eugene Landy. In fact, Let's get. I was trying to find a Beach Boys song to play, and I'm not going to. I'm going to play a Bare Naked Lady song instead to celebrate. But it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We want to go to Gordon. We want to go to this. We want to hit play. We want to have some of this, and that's there. Oh no, blimey! Oh, hang on a minute. We're in a different studio again. That's not it. No. Hang on a minute, guys. We're in a different studio. It's all right. Here we go. We're in.
9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop. Call it impulsive, call it compulsive, call it insane. But when I'm surrounded, I just can't stop. It's a matter of instinct, it's a matter of conditioning, a matter of fact. You can call me Pavlov's dog. Ring a bell and I'll salivate. How'd you like that? Dr. Landy, tell me you're not just a pedagogue. 'Cause right now I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Oh. So I'm lying here, just staring at the ceiling tiles, and I'm thinking about what I think about. Just listening and re-listening to smile wondering where the hell all the love is gone. I'm playing my guitar and building castles in the sun. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And singing fun, fun, fun. I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Whoa. I had a dream that I was 300 pounds. No, I was very heavy. I floated till I couldn't see the ground. I floated till I couldn't see the ground. Oh, somebody help me. I couldn't see the ground. Somebody help me. Couldn't see the ground. Somebody help me. Because I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Ooh, yeah. Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night records.
Anyway, the Brian Wilson film was awesomeness. 03459 455 555. Why do giraffes have long legs? And, well, are they a hindrance or a help? You're telling me, Tony, we were offered a guest on that yesterday, were we?
We were. From London, we were offered a guest. It's called a G&S two-way. We were offered guests on it.
Oh, I wonder if there are any spaces left.
Well,
my-
why did we say no to that one, guys?
My jaw nearly hit the floor when I read that.
Well, if you'd been a giraffe, it wouldn't have been able to hit the floor because of the long legs. Help. Now, a former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project. We've talked about this a lot on this show, actually. After 8 years, it hasn't been built, and it appears that nearly all the money, where has it gone? It's been lost. It's also unclear what the new owners will do with the 140-acre Quest pit near Stewartby. Tony, you've been looking into this, well, for years.
For years.
What is Naira?
2007, Ian. That's when it first got the go-ahead. It was hailed by the then Deputy Leader of Bedfordshire County Council, Richard Stay, as iconic, which would put Bedfordshire on the map. The chairman, Keith Edelman, said it would be a world-class facility which everyone can be proud of. Outline planning permission was granted in September 2009 for the proposed £600 million scheme. It described itself as an international visitor destination and science park with water adventure park, spa, 3 hotels and a park and shuttle bus facility.
I love a good shuttle bus facility.
That was controversial. That was across a development as well, a housing development. That was complicated. Anyway, the planning permission expired in September last year, basically spelling the end of it. 8 years on now from its beginnings, it's still just an old clay pit, which has been sold to a company formed just 2 months ago, and the taxpayer has basically lost out on millions of pounds.
How do you know it's been sold, Tony?
Well, I've been speaking regularly to the administrators involved in this process. They eventually managed to send me a statement yesterday afternoon. It's quite short. Basically, they said property insolvency specialist Moorfields Corporate Recovery Limited have successfully completed the sale of Quest Pit. Quest Pit was opened in 1983, last active pit in Bedfordshire, extracting Oxford clay before ceasing operations in 2008. In September 2009, Naira Holdings Limited obtained outline planning consent for an internal visitor centre destination science research park to help regenerate and attract visitors to Bedfordshire. But unfortunately, the scheme failed to raise the necessary funding, and the outline permission subsequently elapsed in September 2014. As I say, now I understand the company behind the purchase of this land is called Quest Pit Limited. When I looked it up, it's fronted by 2 bankers, and we don't really know who is actually behind it. The administrators can't tell me how much was paid exactly for the land, because the man who purchased it won't allow them to give them that information, nor what will be done with it, though they did indicate to me before that the plans will not be too dissimilar to
Shuttle
Naira.
bus facility! Very quickly, the public money, that's all gone.
It's all gone, basically. Pretty
Brilliant.
much all gone. Naira's debts, when I last checked, amounted to £10 million. Public loans with interest amount to at least £6 million. So the only asset was the land. The administrator tells me that's been sold. There is insufficient to pay the creditors, and of the debts there will be minimal recovery.
Richard Stay said, because I remember, not when I was here, but I remember we've done this before, the people at the council would get its money back. And it hasn't.
He did. He said the council would get its money back. There was every certain chance that the council would get its money back, but it hasn't. The government, who've taken on another part of the loan, which was offered by a regional body called EDA at the time, which now no longer exists. No, the county council no longer exists either. So there's basically no one to hold to account on this at all. So you're looking for the government, and all they do is send me a statement. They say it's disappointing.
Yeah!
Disappointing. The vision to bring Naira project to Bedford didn't become a reality. Oh, but the government and local partners have been driving forward other investments in the area through the growth deal to create jobs and boost growth. So that's okay then.
10 million quid, 6 million. These figures are just ridiculous. Tony, thank you. Excellent work. I know you've been looking into this a lot. Thank you very much. 03459 455 555. Let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Gerrard's Cross on Amersham Road, there's still a lane closed there northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway after a police incident. On the A404 in Coles Hill, there's electricity work going on at Wilden Lane, so that could cause some delays. And looking at the speed sensors, it's still really quiet so far in and around Stevenage. On Martin's Way, there's a lane closed there for the bridge maintenance work going on between Canterbury Way and Hitchin Road, so we're being told to expect delays there later on. On the train departure boards, there are no delays showing up at the moment, but if you're heading into London, the London Underground has the Circle Line suspended clockwise because of a signal failure. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sammy. We're in if it sounds even more inept than it has done, I've swapped studios this morning just because I wanted to sit in the window seat, and now I am, but everything's in a slightly different place. Everything's over by about 3 inches, so I'm reaching for one thing and grabbing the wrong thing. Story of my life. Oh, blimey, story of my life. By the way, if you want to come to the window and expose yourself, you're more than welcome to. I think we're allowed to do that.
Today's the day.
I'm waiting to see a tramp. I can't have that conversation on air, but you fill in the blanks, guys. Today's the day. If you want to come and expose yourself at the window here in Dunstable, you're more than welcome to, OK? I think we're allowed to do that.
We will be taking pictures.
Yes, this is like the Radio 1 Roadshow, except we ain't going nowhere. Your headlines, innit? A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium. I don't know why the phrase "the world's largest aquarium" makes me laugh so much.
Because it sounds like a really proud boast.
Doesn't it just? Has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrard's Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view.
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits?
How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way around.
You know, that is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon.
Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Classic S&G, the Simon, and indeed, the Garfunkel.
And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. We like to know a little bit about your forefathers. We like to help you learn to help yourself. Look around you, all you see are sympathetic eyes. Stroll around the grounds until you feel at home. And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hiding in a hiding place where no one ever goes. Put it in your pantry with your cupcakes. It's a little secret, just the Robinsons affair. Most of all, you've got to hide it from the kids. Cuckoo-cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Sitting on a sofa on a Sunday afternoon, going to the candidates' debate. Laugh about it, shout about it when you've got to choose. Every way you look at it, you lose. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? A nation turns its lonely eyes to you. Ooh, what's that you say, Mrs. Robinson? Joe to Joe has left and gone away. Hey, hey, hey.
What are you beefing on about?
Hey, hey, hey.
They just give me the heebie-jeebies.
I'm still trying to find this kid.
Ely, you're an idiot.
Still trying to find that kid. And if anybody recognises those voices... Dealey, how are your investigations going on that front?
Unfortunately, not great so far.
You
but
drawn a blank?
trust me. Well, my ears are open every single morning on the streets.
I know,
If I
mate.
find that kid, I would drag them to the studio, okay?
Literally, and listen, we don't condone violence against children. Of course, this is just pure and utter banter. But if you do find that kid, drag him to the studio and I'm going to box his ears. And by that I mean I'm actually going to put his ears in a box.
Fair play.
And there's also this one as well.
You are listening
Sounds
to
polite.
Iain Lee,
Oh.
BBC Three Counties
Nice
Radio.
guy, nice
what
guy.
an idiot.
You are going to get it as well, Sunshine.
What is their problem?
Broken Britain, mate. It's broken
It is.
Britain.
I know.
I don't know if it's unemployment. I don't know if it's immigration. I don't know what it is. It's broken and it needs fixing. And
It's all
Dealey,
wrong.
I'm thinking. I've just got an idea for a feature, Catherine.
Go on.
It's something to do with. You'll come up with a snappier way of saying this.
I'll make it better, yeah.
Dealey is going to fix Broken Britain.
Yes.
We are all going to. This show, incorporating the Justin Dealey trademark, is going to fix Broken Britain.
Yes.
That's
Like J-Dog with a bone.
no. That is just way beyond anything we can say on the radio. It's like well, I've got to talk about tits later on. I've got to talk about tits.
Well, because of Swallows and Amazons.
Yeah, the BBC.
Not tits, it's titty.
Titty. BBC are getting rid of titties.
I know. First Fanny, now this.
They're getting rid of titties, Justin.
What? Why? They're great.
No. It's a character in a book.
I don't know if you heard. Radio 4 is the sweariest station in the world, right? Radio flipping 4. Yesterday on PM, they had a clip of Alan Titchmarsh using the B word.
Which one?
The one that means either a broadsword or an illegitimate child.
Oh, well, that's
It's a gardening
not a swear.
term. It's a gardening term. Yeah, do you want me to say it now?
Well, only if you're referring to something.
The other B word, as in the Sex Pistols, never mind the B word, isn't a swear word either. Do you want me to say that?
It is.
No, it isn't. They had it proved in a court of law.
Which court of law?
The British Court of Law.
Oh, that one.
When they released the album Never Mind the B Words by the Sex Pistols, loads of places refused to stock it, and they got hauled up for indecency and bad language. Well, they went to court. Branson and Rotten went to court, and they won. Their lawyer was able to prove it was a good old-fashioned word that wasn't a swear word.
Well, so's the other word, the C word. That's an old-fashioned
Well,
word.
do you
but we
want
don't
me
use
to
that one.
say them?
No, I don't.
Then don't tempt me. Now, do you remember last week we were told Luton Borough Council definitely weren't suppressing a survey about people's perceptions of the town? The suspicion from some people was that they didn't like the answers they got. We were told, albeit in a statement, that the results will be coming out in the coming days. Well, they did come out. They snuck them out that morning, kind of hidden away online. And the words that jump out from the responses they got 2 years ago are dangerous, overcrowded and dirty. Dealey, you've been looking at this. Why did we need a survey in the first place?
Well, the council say they wanted to capture the views of Luton residents and visitors so they could create an accurate picture of what the town is about. The aim was to understand the reasons why people held particular views of Luton and to see if work was needed to hopefully improve those perceptions. I mean, in total, 957 people completed this questionnaire we're talking about this morning.
Main findings, please, sir.
Not great. 43% of respondents rated their experience of Luton as either fairly negative or very negative. 40% were very or fairly positive. The rest, that's 17%, they were neither negative or positive. People were then asked to spontaneously give 3 words to describe Luton, and that's when words such as overcrowded, dirty, dangerous and unsafe emerged.
You've taken this to the streets, of course, haven't you?
I have. Later you'll hear from the people of Hemel who really didn't hold back on their thoughts of Luton. Here's what the people of Dunstable had to say about their perceptions of Luton.
Not really somewhere where I'd go.
Why wouldn't you go to Luton?
I don't know, people have always got big chips on their shoulders. It's a bit, I don't know, you feel like you're being antagonised in some way, I mean, I just don't like Luton, to be quite honest.
Rough, not really nice at all.
It can be messy at times. Loud, too many people, crowded.
Well, I wouldn't go back. I lived there, I was born and brought up there, but I wouldn't go back.
Why wouldn't you go back?
When you turn on the news, there's always Luton in it.
So what's your perception of Luton? What's the first thing that comes into your mind when you think about the town?
Want me to tell the truth? Well, it's not a nice place, is it?
Explain what you mean by that.
No, it's all right.
Is it because you worry what people might think of you?
Don't care two monkeys, mate.
Well, come on, tell us then. Tell us.
Don't want to get into that. Don't want to get into that.
Don't want to get into that.
Luton, multiracial, not the place you want to go to often.
Oh.
Why is it a place you wouldn't want to go to, as you put it, very often?
I don't know, there's something about the place. No, there's just something about it.
Well, multiracial, I think. Listen, I think Luton comes... Luton's got its downsides, of course it has, but, when we worked there, I always enjoyed working there.
Yeah.
I wasn't walking around the streets at night, so I don't know what the vibe was there. In the daytime, it felt all right. Positives, Justin. There are some positives in this, aren't there?
Yeah, just a few, though. Luton's good public services, local amenities, public transport links, they were mentioned. Also, at least 1 in 5 people also mentioned good job opportunities, affordable, decent housing, and also, of course, the transport links, the M1, the accessible motorways.
Well, unfortunately, Sian Timoney, the Deputy Leader of Luton Borough Council, she's injured her back. Go and see an osteopath or get some good pills. Go and see an Oh, blimey. Back pain is one of the worst things. But she's just told me on Twitter that she's going to come on the show tomorrow morning about 6 o'clock, so we will talk to her there. The best thing to do, lie on the floor. Put you'll squash it, a tennis ball under your head. Just above the top of your neck, lie on the floor, bring your knees up, feet flat on the floor, and take loads of strong drugs. Basically,
great advice, boss.
Is what you could do. Justin,
yeah,
I'm missing all the junctions today. And do you know what? I don't care. Can you giraffes? The scientists are investigating why they've got long legs. It's so they can reach the leaves on the trees from when they're in Africa.
It's a national news story. So, are you? I think I'm getting the vibe here. You want me to go on the streets and ask people why giraffes have got long legs. Is that correct?
Could you? Yeah, I really would like you to ask that question, yeah.
OK, give me 15 minutes and I'll come back to you.
We've got one more thing for you, mate.
Yep.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
See you in a bit, ta.
Bye.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Gerrard's Cross, Amersham Road has a lane closed northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway because of a police incident. And in Neaston on the North Circular Road, that's starting to build up now between the M1 at Staples Corner flyover and Brentfield Road at Wembley. In Croxley Green on Watford Road, there's water mains works going on at Harvey Road, which could cause some delays. And in Milton Keynes as well on Standing Way at the Kingston roundabout, there's roadwork still going on there, which could cause some delays this morning. But it's looking quiet so far. Also on the train departure boards, no major delays are showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30, I'm Simon Oxley. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrard's Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. She had been strangled. A 50-year-old man from Hayes who was arrested on suspicion of murder has been released without charge. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town. Of the 957 people who completed it, almost half had what was termed a negative or strongly negative view.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England under-21s are out of the European Championships after a 3-1 defeat to Italy. Gareth Southgate's side finished bottom of their group. Here's goalkeeper Jack Butland.
Devastated, especially to lose that way. Sums up tournament football and what you have to produce to win games and to win the overall tournament, and you've got to be ruthless at both ends of the pitch. Between both boxes we were pretty and we tore them apart, but you've got to get to the other end and score your goals, and then at our end you've got to keep them out. That's what happened tonight.
Former Leeds sporting director Nicola Salerno is set to join Watford to assist the Hornets' recruitment overseas. It's thought Luke Dowling's position as sporting director at Watford will not be affected. A new Stevenage signing, Stephen Schumacher, says former Borough skipper Mark Roberts recommended a move to the Lamex Stadium. The pair were teammates at Fleetwood. Schumacher has become Teddy Sheringham's third signing for Stevenage. Mo Farah's coach Alberto Salazar says he will never permit doping among his athletes. He's written a 12,000-word open letter denying accusations he violated anti-doping rules. Stevenage swimmer Martin Walton competes in the final of the 200 metres individual medley at the European Games in Baku today. He'll be looking to collect his third medal, as Jeff Doyle reports.
Walton, who represents Hatfield Swimming Club, won his second medal yesterday at the Games, a silver in the mixed 4x100 metres freestyle relay. He helped win gold in the all-male version on Tuesday. Now it's the individual events. Walton qualified fifth fastest in the semis yesterday for the 200 metres individual medley, but he missed out on the 100 metres freestyle final after failing to qualify.
And in tennis, there were Wimbledon qualifying defeats for Hemel Hempstead's Katie Dunn and Harpenden Ed Corrie yesterday. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin with a full report on the giraffes at 7.
Mate, is this a real story? Are you winding us up?
No, absolutely genuine. We don't lie at the BBC.
No, we're not allowed to, are we? No. OK, right, that's a shame.
On FM,
it's the wrong thing,
AM,
but
online and digital radio.
Yeah.
This is Roberto Peroni.
It's just because...
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's logged me out again. Why would I want to play my own jingles on the radio, guys? Why would I want to play my own jingles on the radio? Catherine, you going to come in and do do the thing? Well, it's awkward, isn't it? Simon, you can go now. You're finished. Finished with you, Oxley. Send the next one in, please. Next.
Doctor, it's a bit embarrassing.
Just put it away. It's logged me out again. It don't matter. Now, so the Beatles.
Yeah.
Like the Beatles.
Yeah, who hates them? Is she called Christy?
I don't know, I've just tweeted her because she needs to switch off, because if you hate the Beatles, you're going to hate this, right? This is genius. I love this. This will divide people. It's 3 minutes and 34. It's like Stars on 45, right? It's 58 Beatles songs in 3.5 minutes.
That sounds like bliss.
Are you ready?
Go.
I've just seen the face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I won't always another day, I might have looked the other way and I'd have never been aware. But as it is, I'll dream of her tonight. I just see the face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I want all the world to see me. Had it been another day, I might have looked the other way and I'd have never been aware. But as it is, I'll dream of her tonight.
That'll do, wouldn't
my.
it? That'll do, wouldn't it? Isn't
was brilliant.
That's by some bloke called Hank Handy. It's not real. I would imagine it's not his real. I believe that's what is known in the musical trade as a mosh-up. He moshed it up. 58 songs in there.
He mashed that right up.
Go on, you can see it on YouTube, and it's kind of made clear where the songs are, because I've listened to it, and I can't. I've listened to it a million times, and I don't know. I don't know what they all are. Right, OK, so exciting times. What's the name of the young girl that's working with us today?
What, you mean Man Me?
Yes.
Man Me is Danny.
What's her name? Danny. Morning, Danny.
Hi. Sorry, I got stuck on the chair there.
Yeah, you'll get stuck on that in a minute. Now, how many calls have we had explaining the mystery of giraffes' legs?
None.
Right, because if it had been Kelly, we would have had loads of calls, mate.
Right, well...
So you want to buck up your ideas.
Right,
You want to buck up your ideas, Sunshine.
Yeah.
You stop answering back and buck up your ideas.
Well...
Why are you answering... Why is he answering back?
Why are you answering back?
It could...
He's doing it again! No, mate. I'm not seeing any bucking taking place in there. Buck.
Do you want me to call in?
No, we're the BBC. Yes, I do want you to call in.
Oh, okay.
And we're not allowed to do that, do we? Just call in.
Okay.
It's your initiative.
I'm just asking a question.
Buck up. Tell him to buck up.
Buck up, you.
Oh.
Sounds ruder in Northern, doesn't it?
Doesn't it, just? Oh, this came out of the speaker. Still, it sounded nice. When I was at another radio station, I don't think we could... Oh, no, we can do it here. Has that got us... Yeah. Sometimes we... Sometimes I was being crazy. I was probably high on drugs. I wasn't. Although I once interviewed Malcolm McLaren while I was off my face on morphine. And he's a tricky interview anyway. And when you're having a psychedelic experience and time is kind of, is a literal thing that you can feel and you can manipulate with your hands, as is the case when I was on morphine. It was a medical thing. I'd been in hospital. It was flipping hard. That 3-minute interview lasted about 17 hours in my time. And I could see spiders crawling through his hair. And you'd ask him a question and he'd go, yeah... Oh, how do you deal with that when you're high, man? It was medical morphine. Anyway, sometimes we'll give out the studio phone number and people would phone up and we'd have them on speakerphone. Great days.
That is crazy.
Crazy. Has he bucked his ideas up yet?
Have you?
No.
Unbelievable.
Honestly.
Kids these days.
Broken Britain.
You want to make it in show business, mate, you've got to pull your finger out and then in and then out and repeat ad infinitum. What have you got in the papers, Catherine? Does it have the answer as to why giraffes have long legs?
Of course it doesn't. That's going to take exhaustive research.
Flipping. That's old news. I like it over there. Continue.
Is it a bit quiet, though?
Yeah, because it's not plugged into anything. It's
Plug
just
it in. What are you doing?
Oh, just like that.
That's old news. Still not.
Oh, I plugged it. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Nope, broken it. Hang on, there we go.
That's old news.
There he is.
We're in. OK, please.
Titty becomes tatty as BBC rewrites classic.
Oh.
It has entertained generations of youngsters for more than 80 years with its tales of outdoor adventures and childhood friendships. But Arthur Ransom's Swallows and Amazons is too risque for modern audiences.
Now, was Arthur Ransom, is he Esther Ransom's dad?
No. Yeah. No.
Well, they've got similar sounding names.
So that proves paternity, does it?
Well, there's only one way to find out. Get the all-important DNA results, Will. Bring them on now. Now, you said that you weren't her dad, and if you were, you'd say sorry. Well, you said you were asked if you'd had an affair with her mum, and you said no. Why did you say that? Because you were lying!
Oh, that's life.
That's life.
Anyway,
yeah.
This fella, Arthur Ransom.
Not this fella.
I like the mushy peas.
Definitely not that fella.
Okay, look out!
Arthur Ransom, Swallows and Amazons is too
Does
risque for more...
That Arthur Ransom, he swallows and Amazons. Really? Oh, what say?
Stop it.
Creaky!
BBC bosses have decided that they might be offended at the name Titty.
Oh, come on.
The character's been renamed Tatty for a new adaptation. BBC Films has stressed the upcoming version would otherwise be true to the 1930 classic with the names of the other Walker siblings, John, Susan and Roger. Oh, they don't mind Roger. Remaining the same.
It's a bit BBC, they love Roger. Of course they do. Unbelievable.
Ransom based the characters on a real family, the Altunians, one of whom, Mavis, had the nickname Titty after the children's story Titty Mouse and Tatty Mouse.
Okay.
I don't know that one. Well, sounds great.
Isn't it funny how language evolves, guys? We know that. And we can't say the name of the dog in, is it what, the Dam Busters? And that's a true story.
Yeah.
And we can't say that. Sometimes
Faraway Tree, they changed them.
Yeah, sometimes when it's shown on ITV, they get rid of it. When it's shown on Channel 5, they don't care. They keep it in. I'm not for all of this changing.
I think... Do you know what? I got a new edition of the Faraway Tree and I changed the names back as I read them.
Yeah.
My kids didn't really... I mean...
Come on, spit it out. We finish at 9.
Instead of Rick,
yeah.
I mean, it's Dick.
Yeah.
So Dick went back in. Well, my kids didn't care because I don't really know that word.
My Dick went back in. My kids didn't care. I mean, really, guys. Just after we've spoken about Esther Ransom. Well, in that case,
similarly with Franny.
In that case, we shouldn't be allowed to play Willie Nelson. Because my boys think that Willie Nelson is the funniest sounding guy in the world. They've never even heard his music.
Gosh, they would have loved Willie Fogg.
All right, who has got... And we can... Tread carefully, 03459 455 555. Tread carefully. Rude names that are real. If you say Courtney Cox with a question mark at the end... Courtney Cox? Not today. Willie Nelson, 03459 455 555. And why on earth do giraffes have long legs? Dennis, stay there. We'll come to you in a bit.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Barnet, Underhill has been partially blocked by a bus that's broken down between Barnet Hill and Maze Lane. And in Gerrards Cross on the A413, there's still a lane closed northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway after a police incident. The M1 southbound is looking quite slow between junction 10 for Luton Airport and 9 for Redbourne. And having a look on the speed sensors nearby there, it's also looking slow northbound on Birdsfoot Lane approaching the A6. On the train departure boards, there's no reports of any problems at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Where are we? 6:45. It is Thursday, the 25th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning, as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. And Luton Borough Council have released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost a half having negative or strongly negative view. Weather's coming up, but 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. 81333. Start your text 3CR. We are looking for, and come on guys, let's play carefully, let's play nice. Rude real names that would have kids sniggering in the back of the car. And also, why on earth do giraffes have such long legs? 03459 455 555.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Lizzie, are you there? Oh, hang on a second. We've
Hello,
swapped.
I can hear you very faintly. Oh,
Can you hear me now, my darling?
I can hear
Can you
you
hear me,
now.
my darling?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, my darling? We've gone for it. We were in one studio and then I broke it. I know. I broke it. We've not even been there a week,
How
Lizzie.
did you break it?
Well, apparently
Did you
it turns.
press the wrong button?
No. It turns out that if you pour coffee on it, either accidentally or deliberately, it stops working.
So you have rules about coffee.
We have rules. So we've moved to another studio and none of us know where anything is. So apologies, my darling. We know where the weather is. It's in safe hands. It's in your safe hands. And I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Oh, thank you very much. It's going to be a good show today, isn't it? It's going to be a lovely day, actually. Very similar to yesterday. No. Lots of sunshine around through the morning. No. More cloud bubbling up into the afternoon, but still some good spells of sunshine. Temperatures on a par with what we saw yesterday. We'll probably get up to around 24, even 25 degrees Celsius. Not totally out of the question today. Just watch out, hay fever sufferers. The pollen levels are very high again today. Overnight tonight, it's going to be quite cloudy, staying dry. Lows of 14 or 15 degrees. Quite a cloudy, muggy feel to things tomorrow. The risk of a few showers in places, feeling brighter and fresher by the evening. And then Saturday, fresher feel over the weekend, but mostly dry, lots of sunshine around on Saturday. So all in all, some lovely weather on the way, but a bit cloudy tomorrow with the risk of some showers, of course. There we go. That's the forecast.
Thank you.
Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Tomorrow afternoon, I'm bringing a floral feel to BBC Three Counties Radio.
These are Candelabra primulas, and I think they might be described as magenta.
I'll be live from Woburn Abbey, ahead of one of their busiest weekends. It's their garden show.
It's really heads down until the very last minute, and then you can come up for air and enjoy everybody else's garden as well.
You'll hear from the gardeners as they put the finishing touches to their displays.
It's a very informal garden, which is taking its lead from a natural landscape.
And I'll talk to the Duchess of Bedford about her lovely home.
Nick Coffer.
Live from the Woburn Abbey Garden Show. Tomorrow from midday, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, we're asking for rude names. Tread carefully, real rude names. Now, Scott says he used to work with an American girl called Kelly Funberger. And then Andrea, who is an American, says, my ex-fiancé used to work with a guy named, and I can't say his name. I kid you not. I read his name tag at a Christmas party. No, that can't be real. No one's really called that.
No.
No one's got... No.
Don't you have, is there like a congressman or something called Randy Baumgardner?
Randy Baumgardner, yes. Randy Baumgardner is a real gentleman. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call.
Yesterday had nothing and wonder why I'm leaving. Sit and wonder if you'll call. Sit and wonder why I'm looking for a meaning. Sit and wonder why I'm wondering at all.
I'll have to stop myself from wandering from you and finding you a single day. But there's someone stood behind me still, someone's voice that keeps on calling me away.
Sit and wonder why I'm leaving. Sit and wonder if you'll call. Sit and wonder why I'm looking for a meaning. Sit and wonder why I'm wondering at all. Yesterday had nothing to say. Tomorrow may bring me a thought. Today was here, now it's turned into fear. If it's with you, then I should stay. Sit and wonder why I'm leaving. Sit and wonder if you'll call. Sit and wonder why I'm looking for a meaning. Sit and wonder why I'm wondering at all.
Yeah, that'll do. We're on a Mama Cass trip after speaking to her daughter, Owen, yesterday. You missed it, don't worry. It'll be in the podcast. And we'll do Peter Talk from the Monkeys next week, because then
Yeah,
that can
let's
go in the
save
podcast. Yeah, let's save him, shall we? Good morning, Dennis!
Good morning, Ian.
Are you going to come to... I'm in the window seat today. Are you going to come to the window and parade for us? And I think you know what I mean by parade.
Yes, dear
Privates
boy,
on parade.
You realise to come and see you would cost me £10 and I can't afford it.
Do you realise that when you came to see 50 Shades of Grey, I paid for your cab back
I know you
out
did.
of my own pocket? That wasn't even BBC dollar. That was Ian
And
Lee dollar.
incidentally, they're selling the disc of that particular programme in Sainsbury's for just over £3, so you can realise how rubbish it was.
Well, Dealey, I'm sure Dealey will splash out on that again. So we'll see. What have you got?
Giraffe legs.
Ian, sorry, I've got to be so careful with these. My good friend I work with were always... hang on, I know someone... No. Right, OK, I'm not saying that. Some people are just sending in joke names, right? So
This isn't a joke name.
Well, no, but you know in South Africa they have a thing, sometimes you'll have Steve Dyke or Steve... This one says the first... All right, I'm going to break it up. First name was Benjamin, the abbreviated version of Benjamin. Last name de Kock. Now, I do not believe that, and I also do not believe Gaynor Dick, whose email was Gay Dick. I'm not having that at all. I cannot. Come on, guys, please. Dennis.
Yes.
Get to the point.
Right. The gentleman's name I used to know was called Lillicrap.
Christopher Lillicrap Christopher Lillicrap, right?
No,
used to
I
be
didn't say Christopher.
No, I know, but I did. Used to be a children's television
remember
presenter,
him.
right? He was great, curly hair, he was brilliant.
Dungarees.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And he did his first show, and the bosses, he tells his story brilliantly. The bosses at the BBC called him in and said, "We need to have a chat with you about your name." And he's thinking, "Oh, flip! They're going to change Lillicrap. They're going to. My mum and dad are going to be so disappointed." And they went into the meeting. And the guy said, "Your name? It's just not working. We think we're going to shorten it to Chris."
Oh, that's brilliant.
And you had something about a giraffe as well, Dennis?
Yes.
Go on.
Evolution. They were after something from the top of the tree that nobody else could get at, so they stretch. And slowly but surely, the legs got longer and the necks got longer.
That's how evolution works.
Yeah.
Hey, if we kept throwing old people off a cliff, do you think eventually old people would grow wings?
No, but they die a damn sight quick.
Thanks very much indeed. Let's go to... it's Justin Daly.
Morning, boss.
Good morning, boss. Scientists, and I can't believe we were offered a GNS guest on this yesterday.
I can't believe we turned it down.
We turned down a guest. GNS, for those of you who don't know, I mean, it just stands for Lazy Radio. We were offered a guest on the scientists who are trying to work out giraffes' legs. Are they a help or a hindrance?
Do you know how they're going to check? By getting them to walk in front of them.
That's what they're going to do. And also, why have they got such long legs? Well, Dealey, you've taken giraffes to the streets. Not literally, that would be weird.
Yeah, it would be weird. Of course, that these experiments are local and vocal, happening at Whipsnade Zoo. It's unbelievable, this story. But I've taken to the streets asking people, why have giraffes got long legs? Here's what happened. Sharon, the question of the day. Giraffes. Why have they got long legs?
Because they want to see everybody.
What about yourself, sir?
I would say the same thing. Watch out for the lions, I suppose. Yeah, so they don't eat them.
Thank you.
All right, mate.
Nice loafer, sir. Giraffes. Do you like them?
Yeah, I like them.
Why do you like giraffes?
Yeah, it's eye-catching kind of thing. Yeah.
Eye-catching.
Yeah.
Lovely. Why have giraffes got long legs?
I think it's because of evolution.
Boss, why have giraffes got long legs?
To reach higher things.
Don't know, balance.
A balance. Darren, you look like a sensible guy. I'm expecting a sensible answer. Why have giraffes got long legs?
To eat leaves off the top of the trees.
That guy that thought the giraffes were eye-catching.
Yeah, great guy.
Great guy. Great bants, Justin.
Thank you.
There's a story in the papers, very quickly, because we're out of time. A Blue Peter presenter... whenever I open another mic, the levels go to cock. A Blue Peter presenter is to reveal the inside of his stomach live on TV by swallowing a pill containing a tiny camera. Ratzi Chinyaganye will take the capsule for today's BBC so that viewers can watch its journey through his body. He said, I just hope I can stomach what I see. Do you know what amazes me about that story, Justin?
Go on.
Blue Peter is still going.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You know what? The only kids and we had to watch Swap Shop, do you know what I mean? So we were kind of spoddy, but the only kids that watched Blue Peter were the ones that did their homework.
Yeah.
You watched it, Boyle.
Yeah, I did.
Boyle watched it. Daly, can you find anybody that watched Blue Peter and wasn't a sad case? Can you find a punk rocker that watched Blue Peter, please?
I doubt that will happen, but leave it to me.
See you later.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Gerrards Cross, the A413 has the lanes closed still northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway because of a police incident. In Barnet on Underhill, that's been partially blocked by a bus that's broken down between Barnet Lane and Maze Lane and Barnet Hill, so that's causing it to be a little bit slow through there. And in Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road, it's looking slow now at the M25 junction 21A roundabout. Looking at speed sensors in Harpenden, and the High Street's looking quite slow in both directions. And on the motorways, the M1 is busy southbound from junction 10 for Luton Airport, 9 for Redbourne. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Robbie's just sent us in some rude names. Probably safer if we play this on text and Twitter, actually. We're going to check that these are real people before we read them out, because if they are, what were their parents thinking?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: millions of pounds lost in failed Bedfordshire Naira project. Police name Buckinghamshire murder victim, and council release results of Luton survey.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project, but after 8 years it hasn't been built, and it appears nearly all the money's been lost. More from Tony Fisher.
Planning permission for Naira expired in September last year after the scheme failed to raise the necessary funding. Now the 140-acre Quest Pit site near Stewartby has been sold to a company formed just 2 months ago. Administrators say the return to the taxpayer is minimal. Meanwhile, the government says it's disappointed Nara did not become a reality.
Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrard's Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. Thames Valley Police say she had been strangled. A murder investigation is underway. A 50-year-old man from Hayes who was arrested on suspicion of murder has been released without charge. A motorcyclist has been airlifted to hospital with multiple injuries after a head-on collision with a car in Hertfordshire yesterday evening. It happened just before 6 p.m. on the B656 Codicott Road between Hitchin and Langley Village. Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town. Of the 957 people who completed it, almost half had what was termed a negative or strongly negative view, citing words such as overcrowded and dangerous to describe the town. More from Sophie Solaria.
Luton Borough Council commissioned the survey so it could paint an accurate picture of people's perception of the town. 43% of those rated their experience of Luton as either fairly or very negative. As well as submitting words such as dangerous and dirty to describe the town, more than a quarter cited crime levels to be an issue, while others said Luton lacked integration and held a bad reputation.
David Cameron will formally present his proposals for European Union reform at a summit in Brussels today. It's the first time the issue of renegotiating Britain's membership has been put before all 28 EU leaders. But the summit will also discuss the Mediterranean migrant crisis and the financial situation in Greece. Giraffes at Whipsnade Zoo in Bedfordshire have been undergoing walking tests so researchers can work out whether their long legs are a help or a hindrance. They'll also try to understand why giraffes develop such long limbs, as Victoria Gill reports.
Researchers from the Royal Veterinary College have designed this study to work out if giraffes' long, spindly legs are a help or a hindrance. The team buried very sensitive weighing scales in the animal's paddock. While zookeepers use leafy branches to tempt the animals to walk back and forth over these sensors, the team measures every force through their joints as they move. The researchers hope to solve the evolutionary mystery of how their extreme anatomy evolved from much more modestly proportioned ancestors.
In sport, England under-21s are out of the European Championships after a 3-1 defeat to Italy. The weather sunny spells with some cloud but feeling warm, a maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Can we find out before the end of the show, please, why do giraffes have such long legs? Let's save those earnest researchers. Well, let's be honest, they're on a jolly, aren't they? They're on a jolly. We've been given £50,000 funds grants by the government, and I'm bored of trying to find the cure for the common cold. How many days passes do you think £50,000 will buy us at Whipsnade? Let's go and hang out there. The fabs are on me. Blimey. We're asking for rude names. I think it's going to be safer if we do this on Twitter and we do it on the text 81333. Start your text 3CR. You can tweet at BBC3CR or at Iain Lee. Let's tread carefully, guys, but, you know...
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Catherine, we had... Who tweeted us ones that I wanted you to check?
Robbie Thompson.
And these... Now, you've checked these.
I was aware of one of them, yeah.
These are all sporting legends.
Yes.
These are real famous people whose parents thought, let's just pick a name out of a hat. It don't matter. Let's just any old name will do. As we were saying, when you have kids, and you're trying to find a name, you find names that you like, and then you do rhymes, and then you do abbreviations, and then you kind of what if you change the first letter?
And you think like a school kid. You think right, what are they going to call her?
It's the most fun thing coming up. It's hard work coming up with the names. It's so hard, but it is fun because you get to think like an 8-year-old, and then you think like a 15-year-old, and then you think, okay, well, it works.
I had some friends called Freeman, and they were talking one day, and they knew that they were having a boy, and my friend Nick, who's the wife in the scenario, said, "Oh, babe, why don't we call him Morgan?" You went, what, Morgan Freeman?
Well, so Robbie sent us some. You've checked these. These are all These are all celebrities.
They are. So if you are likely to be offended by people's real names that sound rude, tune away now.
Yeah.
Don't text me.
No.
Robbie Thompson says, American race driver Dick Trickle.
And we're going to pass no comment on these. No comment. But yes, Mr. Dick Trickle.
Mr. and Mrs. Trickle thought that was a good idea.
Is there a Mr. Trickle here? Mr. Dick Trickle? Guys? Okay, yeah.
Olympic swimmer, Misty Hyman.
That's her name. Okay, yeah, okay, good. And the final one he sent him?
American hockey player.
Yep.
Dick Paradise.
Wowzers. Isn't that the name of the club in Milton Keynes?
I didn't want to Google that one.
Ed has sent one in, which I'm not going to read out, but I've Googled it. It's an Indian name. There are loads of them. The first thing...
We could say it's Shithade.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one that Ed has sent in, Prashant. You seen the last...
Yes.
Yes, Prashant. I've retweeted it. It's a real name. I've Googled it. There are loads of them. Loads of Indian fellas. They're all on LinkedIn. Prashant... I wish him the very, very best of luck. And, yeah. Gosh, doesn't that make you think? 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, 81333. Start your text 3CR. Now, a former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium. Remind me, Catherine, I've got a question about this afterwards, OK? It's been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project, but after 8 years, it hasn't been built, and it appears that nearly all of the money, it's been lost. It's also unclear what the new owners will do with the 140-acre Quest pit near Stewartby. Well, Elstow Parish Councillor Tony Hare joins me now. Morning, Tony.
Yeah, good morning.
Now, we've been led to believe, in fact, we've been told outright in the past there'd be a good chance of getting this public money back, but now, well, we know we're not. Millions of pounds have been lost. You must be disappointed, to put it mildly.
I am disappointed. I think it's disgusting, quite frankly. Yeah, this is just money which is, well, I mean, I thought for quite a long while now it was never ever going to be seen again. And that is the case. Naira is finished, all the people around it, the banks that were behind it are all finished, and the money's gone missing.
And that's the thing, isn't it? There's no one that can be, well, maybe you can correct me, but there's no one that I can see that can be held responsible, because the EEDA and Beds County Council, they don't exist anymore, so there's no one really that we can point the finger at, is there?
That does appear to be the case, unless, of course, you look at the people who are involved personally, and in which case they should be, held up as not doing a very good job. I mean, there were people involved who were publicly elected people, and of course you have the people of Naira, the directors, the officers of that particular company. In fact, there were two companies, and where have they gone? What have they done? Nothing.
And the thing is, as well, it's funny. There's always stories in the papers, and there's one the other day about benefit cheats getting, sent to prison because they're scrounging off the state. And in comparison to this £4 million, that's nothing, and yet nobody will get punished. Nobody will be accused of misappropriation of funds. Just £4 million that we lost. Oh well, never mind.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the thing is shocking. It's disgusting. People knew this was going to happen. The money has been taken. The money has been taken from public. It's public money. It's not somebody else's personal money. This is public money. Look, for everybody who's on this radio this morning listening, it's their money that they paid in somewhere, and it's just gone.
The government have given... I'm laughing because it's such a flaccid response. We asked the government for a response on how the missing millions might be recouped, and all they said was, quotes, "It's disappointing that the vision to bring the Naira project to Bedfordshire did not become a reality." It just seems like, Tony, no one's that bothered. If the government aren't going to pursue this, then, what is there? We just have to suck it up, don't we?
Yeah, I know. It's infuriating. I mean, it staggers me that you have a company of, well, it was a strange old situation anyway, but they come along and say, well, look, we'll build this supersonic attraction, but can you please, put some money up front? £4 million. I don't know any other situation in planning terms where that type of thing is money is given up. Money's paid up first. It seems shocking.
What do you think happens next, Tony? The new owners have bought the land at a bargain price, it would appear. They say they've got a vision for it which is not dissimilar to Naira. It just sounds like this is going to drag on and on and on, doesn't it?
It certainly does. If they do it, I was never against the project in the first place. I was only ever against the stupidity of having the car park 3 miles away on a sinking landfill pit in Elstow.
Yeah.
Hence my original interest. But if they put the car parking down on Crest Pit, which is a huge pit, it's a mile long, it's ever so big, and there would be plenty of room to put cars on there, then I wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Having said that, as long as I don't start off trying to get public money to fund it, then, bring it on.
It does make you think, we have every right to be suspicious. It does make you think, how much more is this going to cost us? And by us, I mean the taxpayer.
It mustn't cost us another single penny.
We'll see. I suspect we'll be talking about this again in the future. Tony, really nice to talk to you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Elstow Parish Councillor Tony Hare. It's one of those things, he sounded really angry. It's one of those things, what can you say? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Someone cocked up, but who did we have in the other day? We had in someone the other day that was clearing up someone else's mess.
I know, about the Bedford CCG.
It was that, wasn't it? The amount of money that Bedford, the NHS had lost and spent and was overdrawn. And I said, I know what's going to happen is you're the new guy, so I can't blame you for it. By saying me, I mean, the taxpayer. We can't blame you for it because you're here to clear the mess up. If you don't clear the mess up, you won't be here in 6 months. Someone else will come in, so I can't blame her or him. There's never anyone that is responsible or taking accountability for these things. And it's true, you're reading the papers, benefit scrounger cheated the government out of £3,000. Blue badge people using their blue badges inappropriately, costing thousands of pounds. They're going to prison. People not paying their council tax, going to prison for £1,000, £2,000, £3,000. This is £4 million. And nobody's going to stand in front of a judge and say, I cocked up. Or no one's going to put their hands up. No one's going to get even voted out because we don't know whose fault it was.
There's no one to chase for it either. There's no one body to chase for it.
Oh, man alive, I tell you what, it's hot in here.
Again?
Yeah.
That's old news.
I know it's old news, but it affects me. So the question that I had was, if that was going to be the world's biggest aquarium, well, where is the world's biggest aquarium? Because there must be an aquarium somewhere that's going, phew, we don't need to take the world's biggest off the sign, guys. We can keep it up there.
All right, hang on.
Where is the world's biggest aquarium? And why would anyone want to go?
It's Georgia.
Huh?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, that'll be it. We went to the London Aquarium. If you want to spend a load of money on not a lot, go to an aquarium. They cost a fortune, right? It's just a posh fish tank. All it is. Go down to the local garden centre.
I was going to say, you can see them from now.
They've even got not Where's Wally. They've even got Finding Nemo in there.
Exactly.
Go and see that guy. We went to the one in London. The whatever it's called.
London Aquarium.
That's the fella.
Yeah.
And it's like £80 for a family to go, and it's ridiculous. And there's a glass walkway. We went years ago with the kids. There's a glass walkway, right, with sharks underneath it, right? And my kid was 2, and he's there and he's tapping the glass, and a guard there. Oi, stop that! I went, sorry. Tell your lad to stop it. I went, yeah, no, you tell me to tell him to stop it. You don't tell him to stop it. He's 3, or he's 2 at the time. He doesn't know. Stop doing that. Come on, let's go. And he said, well, it's dangerous. I said, if you're worried about a kid tapping the glass walkway, then we shouldn't be standing on it. If you think it's that dangerous, you absolute plum. 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
the M1 southbound, it's slow from junction 10 for Luton Airport towards junction 9 for Redbourne. And the M25 is also looking busy now between junction 21 for the M1 and 15 for the M4 past Chorleywood as well. It's looking a little bit slow. In Borehamwood on the A1 southbound, that's got queues building up from Borehamwood towards the Apex corner in Edgware. And in Jarrods Cross, Amersham Road still has a lane closed northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway because of a police incident. Looking at the speed sensors in Hitchin, and it's looking quite slow northbound in both directions on Parkway in and out of the town centre. On the train departure boards, though, there are no delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 7:16. It is Thursday, the 25th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. And Luton Borough Council have released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view.
BBC Music at Glastonbury.
Glastonbury, you're ready out there!
Bringing you 6 stages.
Live. On television, radio and online. You can enjoy more of the world's greatest music festival however you choose.
BBC Music at Glastonbury.
Starts this Friday at bbc.co.uk/Glastonbury.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Roberto Perrone.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
I know it isn't, but that silent fan's good, isn't it? It's almost silent. I'm sweating buckets in here. It's a good way to lose weight. Let's look at it like that. It's headache inducing. It's a good way to lose a little bit of weight, ladies and gentlemen. Have we?
You got a test.
Have we?
We've got loads.
Okay.
I mean, some of them I can read out.
Yeah, I know. Let's be careful. Let's tread carefully. I realise I've invited anarchy by asking for your rude names.
Andy in Bedford. I knew a man called Andrew Peacock, always known as Drew.
Yeah, of course. Come on, that's not real. I don't buy that one.
Here's one. No, I'm not reading that one out.
No. Yeah, well done.
I'm not reading that one.
Okay, right.
Oh, hang on. I went to school with someone called Philip Nurse. Nothing wrong with that until you do it as P Nurse. Oh.
What? Oh, penis. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I've got so many clips on this computer here that I can't play. I can play this.
I've got a mouthful of sausage.
But I can't play the clip. I've got the show on here, basically. Clips of presenters reading out those prank texts. There's you won't get one past me. I mean, if you snuck in one in here, well, then fair enough, but you kind of missed the point. But I'm always good at the names. I don't think I've ever read an inappropriate name. But there are so many older presenters who just, they're trusting, sensitive, kind folk who don't think anybody would text in something rude and vulgar. So they just read it out. The one about the curtains is just, isn't it a joy? Don't know what I'm talking about? Go to iainlee.com and come and see my live show, guys.
There's loads. I told you I used to know a Chinese student called Lick Men.
That's great. Have we got our next guest lined up? Shall I crack on with this?
I will get them now.
Okay, well, I'll do the audio while you do that. Last week, we asked Luton Borough Council what had happened to the results of a survey about the town's image. The research was done 2 years ago, but we spoke to a couple of people who suspected the picture it painted wasn't pretty enough, and so the bosses at the council kind of didn't want to release the survey and wanted to keep it hidden. Well, the council released the survey on the day that we talked about it. Kind of hidden ever so slightly. You've got to look hard to find it, but it's there. Well, the key words that emerged from that survey weren't great. There were some good bits in it. It's not a complete whitewash. There are some good bits about the transport and things like that. But the words that kind of pop out: overcrowded, dirty and dangerous. Well, what do you think of Luton? And what do places outside of Luton think of Luton? Justin Dealey's been speaking to the people in Hemel Hempstead about that.
They've got no pride. There's just no pride in the houses, no pride in the gardens. It's just mess.
Hemel, they're making such a good go at Hemel. You know, it's just go to Luton and it's run down.
Have you ever lived in Luton, worked in Luton?
No, I've worked in Luton. I worked there for 5 years, nearly 5 years. I couldn't wait to get home every night.
Fear. I'd be scared to go into the town on my own. Nat Arndale walking around, yeah, I would.
When was the last time you went to Luton?
Oh, years ago.
You felt scared then?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I just don't like it. I'm just a bit frightened when I go over there now. I've always got my bag under my arm in case I'm thinking I'm going to get robbed.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So you used to go there quite a bit, but you don't anymore?
I used to go with my mum and dad, but we don't go over there now. No.
A dump. Rough. That's all I can say about Luton, really.
When was the last time you were there?
About a month ago. And something happened. Can't remember what street it was, but it was in Iceland, and there was a shooting of some sort. And that scared me, and I thought, no, I'm not going there again, so I left it.
So you'll never go back?
Nah, it's getting really, really bad.
That's a great shame, because we're talking about a town which is, 2 junctions up the M1, which has, in my opinion, got a lot to offer. Yeah. But from your experience, you're just not going to go back after that.
No, not after that, not after seeing that. It really scared me, and with my son with me as well, I thought, nah, I'm not going back there again, just in case. Well, you never know, do you? Didn't feel safe, so I'm not going back.
Local Luton resident Colin Willervise was one of the people pushing for the survey's release. He joins us now. Morning, Colin.
Good morning, Ian. Thank you for having me back on.
Oh, no, listen, thank you for coming back on. They released it. They released it that day.
Within hours of your programme, Ian.
Isn't that interesting? What a coincidence. Have you seen it?
I have. I got a copy of the day of release. My local councillor sent me a PDF of it.
What do you make of it?
It's very interesting reading. It's exactly how I would have predicted it to run. And for the council to indicate they're not going to do anything about it from your last week's programme is totally wrong.
What are some of the key things that stand out for you?
For me, there was 2 main points that stood out. One, key strengths. 10% of the people could not think of one key strength to put down. That's frightening. Yep. And also, the people most likely to view it as negative, 51% didn't live in Luton, or 46% were British background.
Right.
So these things are what needs addressing, is why the British people have got negative views of the town.
And it's not... why do you think the British people have got negative views of the town?
As I said on last week's programme, I think it's where the council are focusing on the minorities and not bringing them into the majority. In what way do you think they're focusing on the minorities? I kind of thought that Luton pretty much catered for everybody in terms of the way they looked after people. I don't sort of feel I get that view from it. Not at all.
How do you feel excluded?
That there's not enough going on that would entice me to go to it because of the titles of the shows and things being more at minorities than British people that were born here and grew up here.
Well, Colin, I'm assuming... what are you talking about? Asians? Polish?
Everyone, the whole community. This is a multinational...
Black people?
Everyone.
Yeah, because a lot of the people who look foreign, shall we say, black and Asian people, a lot of them were, of course, born in Britain or born in Luton, going back generations.
Absolutely. We are a society, and that's what the council needs to focus on. We're one society, and they shouldn't keep distinguishing between different groups.
Well, they have to distinguish between different groups, though, don't they?
I'm not so sure.
Go on, tell me why.
Because I believe we are one group, and if they do experiment, and by doing things that everybody can attend, I'm sure everybody will attend, and we'll all mix in as one.
OK, give me because I'm scratching my head ever so slightly, and it's partly because this studio is so flipping hot, Colin, and you wouldn't believe the sweat that's pouring off me. Give me an example of one thing that you would like, that you think would be an inclusive event that everybody could attend.
The last big one that everybody could have attended was Luton Carnival.
Right.
Now, for me, they moved it to Wardown Park.
Right.
Why? We've had the town centre pedestrianised to do things like this.
Yeah.
Why move it to Wardown Park, where they closed off roads, where it could have been in the town centre and brought money into the Arndale.
Okay. Colin, listen, I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you very much indeed. Sian Timoney, the Deputy Leader of Luton Borough Council, has put her back out, and if anybody's had that, man alive, it's one of the most painful things there is. You want a tennis ball just above your neck, under your head, lie on the floor. That's it. Put the telly on. Put Cash in the Attic on. That's what you want. She's going to come on tomorrow morning at 6, so that we're looking forward to that. Sian, thank you very much indeed. Colin, thank you very much indeed. I just had an email here from... where is it? My emails have gone. Here we go. It took me ages to work this one out. Iain says, I went to uni with a lad called Carl Hickbread. Carl Hickbread. Just keep saying it.
No.
Garlic bread.
Oh.
Come on!
Not rude though, is it?
We're doing that. Oh, you see,
I was hoping for rude.
Yes, you've sunk to the smutty level. That is a great name, and because it doesn't mention wing wangs or bing bongs, you're not buying it. You're not buying it.
Hang on, there's someone on the phone.
Oh, well, it's a complaint. You go and get that. 03459 455 555 is the phone number. We're trying to find. You know we don't things we don't do on this show, right? Should we bring back hanging? Should we legalise drugs? Tend not to do the Muslim phone-in. Occasionally my hand is forced. Sometimes my hand is forced, and there are stories that I'm told we have to do. I hate talking about Blibum in EDL, and I get my hand forced from time to time. And it always ends up sounding rubbish. And kids' TV programmes from the 70s, they're things that you won't hear me doing. But I want to talk about a kids' TV programme from the 70s. Blue Peter. It's a tiny story. It's almost insignificant that this story in the newspaper about Blue Peter. What is significant? I can't believe it's still going. I cannot believe it's still going. And why would anybody in their right mind watch that? It was always the dullest, spoddiest programme. I mean, it was an old man doing gardens, and then yes, when Janet Ellis came on, I mean, it became a little bit fruity, a little bit raunchy, it got a little bit more exciting. But up until then, Simon Groom, of course, who used to work here, I found out yesterday on the 30th birthday of BBC Three Counties Radio. Happy birthday, guys. All the haters on Facebook going, they didn't even talk about it on the radio, that's how rubbish it is. What were you listening to? We were banging on about it. We played the first ever bit of BBC Three Counties Radio. Anyway, 03459 455 555. Does your kid watch Blue Peter? If they do, they're a spod.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1, it's slow southbound from Junction 10 for Luton Airport towards Junction 9 for Redbourne. And looking at the speed sensors, it's also quite slow now on the A5 approaching the M1 at Junction 9 through Lynch Hill. It's looking a bit busy. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's slow from Junction 21 for the M1 to 16 for the M40. And the A10 southbound is building up from the Great Cambridge Road at the New River Trading Estate towards the M25 at Junction 25 for Enfield. In Gerrards Cross, Amersham Road still has a lane closed northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway because of a police incident. Looking at the train departure boards, there are no major delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much. If you're walking the streets of Dunstable, then you might see a Justin Dealey running around. He's trying to find a cool person than watch Blue Peter. If anybody watched Blue Peter, you weren't cool. And if you got a Blue Peter badge, you were double uncool, man. I just got a dirty look from Simon Oxley. Were you a Blue Peter fan?
Love Blue Peter. Still watch it with the kids.
Oh, yeah. I'm being rude about a man's children. He sat in the room with me. I take everything back I've just said in the last 2 minutes. 03459 455 555. Let's get the news.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. The headlines: a former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's under-21s are out of the European Championships after a 3-1 defeat to Italy. Gareth Southgate's side finished bottom of their group. Former Leeds sporting director Nicola Salerno is set to join Watford to assist the Hornets' recruitment overseas. It's thought Luke Dowling's position as sporting director at Watford will not be affected. A new Stevenage signing, Stephen Schumacher, says former Borough skipper Mark Roberts recommended a move to the Lamex Stadium. The pair were teammates at Fleetwood. Schumacher has become Teddy Sheringham's third signing for Stevenage. Mo Farah's coach Alberto Salazar says he will never permit doping among his athletes. He's written a 12,000-word open letter denying accusations he violated anti-doping rules. More from the BBC's athletics commentator Mike Costello.
Ultimately, the authorities, including British Athletics, will have to decide who they want to believe, as will Mo Farah as he contemplates his own future. Salazar's letter is comprehensive, running to 11,500 words, and his denials of the most serious allegations are backed up by detailed documentary evidence dating back a number of years. He claims that his methods and the substances he uses all comply with the rules as laid down by the American and the global anti-doping authorities, and so Farah and British Athletics must now assess both sides of the story and make their call. And British Athletics, who've worked with Salazar for almost 2 years now, have said they expect their review into the matter to be completed by the first week in August, and this letter gives them much more to consider.
Stevenage swimmer Martin Walton competes in the final of the 200 metres individual medley at the European Games in Baku today. He'll be looking to collect his third medal. And in tennis, there were Wimbledon qualifying defeats yesterday for Hemel Hempstead's Katie Dunn and Harpenden Ed Corrie. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
This is Roberto Perrone.
It's on BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's all I've got. Damn. The Oxley booby trap didn't work. We'll get him next time. We'll get him next time. I've got a massive cable trailing across the floor, and he nearly went for a Burton. Unfortunately, that Burton did not happen. So, listen, we don't take, requests and stuff here. Now that we've got the glass, that glass is, proper... I'm not asking anyone to test it, but that's proper bulletproof, isn't it? A disc jockey was shot dead by a teenager for refusing to play his request. It's in India. So, that kind of stuff, I'd imagine, happens pretty much every week. But still, imagine that.
Gosh, you really wanted that record.
Dada Mendy Rub Rub.
What's that?
I don't think I've got it on my iPhone. Dada Mendy Rub Rub. It's a great... I'll bring it in tomorrow. Dada Mendy Rub Rub. It's a great song.
Is it a person or a group? Or it's a song?
I'm not totally sure if it's the name. I think it's the name of the song. It was... I wonder if I can find it on here. Have we got any texts?
Loads.
I'll look for Dada Mendy Rub Rub. Which is a great song, by the way.
David Hitchin says, regarding your question on why giraffe legs are so long, could it be because the body is so high off the ground? If the legs were shorter, the giraffe would be walking around on tiptoes, or his legs didn't reach the floor. Research completed. There you go, job done. Thanks, David Hitchin. We've also got your pierced skin phone in.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is happening. Ever pierced your skin? Yeah.
As a kid, I was at a friend's house. He climbed up the washing line pole. When at the top, he wrapped his legs around the post and slid down. His feet were about 2 feet off the ground and he suddenly stopped.
Oh!
The bracket you secure the washing line to in a figure-8 fashion had pierced his trousers and hung him by his... We had to support his weight until his parents lifted him off. Ouch, DJ Milton Keynes. Thanks for that.
Well, he's right. He's right to mention that. We are asking... These questions are going on all week. Have you ever died? Hot places, underwater stories, high stories, cat bums. Have you ever pierced your flesh? Operated on yourself? Anything to do with Sir Lemworth Hemworth? And, of course, giraffes. Oh, and have you ever seen anything interesting in a theatre? Apart from the play. Plays, as we know, are quite dull. But if you've ever seen anything interesting happening in the theatre, 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Page 1 of the Daily Mail is a lie. There's a surprise. Page 1 of the Daily Mail is a lie. Miracle Man who really can make cellulite vanish. Oh, come on! Female magazine starts page 27. Guys, really? I'd expect that from the Express. Not a high quality... No, hang on. The female... the page 27 is about Lord Janner. Cover up? What cover up? 37. How would you feel to find you are a sperm donor's child? Be all right. Where's the thing about cellulite? I want to know how to lose my cellulite. You still on the phone?
No, I've put Yvonne in Cranfield on fader 2 for you.
In that case, listen to this. Hang on, this is Dala Mendy Rub Rub. Big Sikh guy in a turban. Having it large. I only mention it because you don't see big Sikh guys in turbans doing this kind of music very often. Hip, 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 hip. Here we go. Here we go. When it gets to the chorus, it starts from mooey, mooey, chewy, mooey, chewy, mooey. That was it. Chewy, mooey. Chewy, mooey, chewy, mooey, chewy, mooey. This bit's good. See, that's.
I hope none of that was rude.
No. Chewy mooey chewy. I don't know what chewy mooey means.
If anyone can translate that, give us a shout.
There'll be people going, what the heck? When did BBC Three Counties Radio get hip? I say hip. I mean, this song's like 20 years old. Could you tell?
It hasn't aged.
But what's brilliant and what's unusual is because we are used to our pop stars looking a certain way. Thank you, Danny. And this is a big Sikh guy in a turban with a beard rocking out with some hot Indian chicks, man. And it's... and he's got loads of gold around his neck as well. There we'll have that as the background to the rest of the show. Who did you say is where?
Yvonne in Cranfield, phase 2.
Yvonne is in Cranfield. Good morning, Yvonne.
Good morning.
Chewy mooey indeed. What have you got for us, Yvonne?
I have to say, I did not approve of that music.
You old square! I can imagine me playing this in my bedroom and you're downstairs with a broom, tapping the ceiling saying, "Oi, turn that racket off!"
I'd have been upstairs through the bedroom door, believe me.
Ripping my clothes off, Yvonne, if I know you. If I know you, ripping my clothes... Yvonne, please, I'll pay extra rent, get your hands off! Anyway, Yvonne, what have you got for us? Because it sounds like you need to go for a smoke. Yes.
Yeah. Naira, you need to go back further. It was set up originally because they wanted to use that site
yes,
for burying low-level radioactive waste.
What?
Now, I was involved at that time.
Yes.
I was an area controller for a market research company.
Yes.
And we did the market research.
Yeah.
And that got...
What was the question? Would you mind if we buried some low-level nuclear waste in your back garden?
More or less. But not quite.
Did anybody say yes?
Bold. Not quite that bold.
Yeah.
But anyway, it got binned. And it lay fallow for years. And the next thing was...
Yes.
If it was Naira, that was a quasi-government agency that I think might have been given to a private consortium, if you follow me, I don't know. I can't. Well,
are you suggesting, Yvonne? Listen, let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that somehow there corruption is involved and backhanders have been paid out?
I would not say yes, but I certainly would not say no.
Oh, Yvonne, you're fantastic. Can we clip that bit, please? Thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that. I would not say yes, but I would. We'll have that. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. And
Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you, Yvonne. She was good, wasn't she?
I would say yes. I wouldn't say no.
Hit the bass. Yeah, she was good. And that's exactly the dance they're doing in the thing. Their hands up in the air.
Gonna screw in the light bulb?
I got loads of this shiz. When I spent... Oh, Tony Fisher's doing it, yeah.
In the house.
Oh, gosh. That's proper. I think I do dad dancing. That's proper dad dancing. He's had more practice at it. Look at that. He's at a wedding.
Oh, wow.
Tony Fisher's at a wedding.
You can have my eye out with that.
Put that away, Tony. We can't do that now. Not after not after some of the people that have worked with us. See, now I can play any old shiz on here. I wonder if... here we go. Have a listen to this, right? See if you... Not this, because this is an advert for... gosh, why... I'm getting this on YouTube. The advertising on YouTube is targeted, yeah? It's targeted to your profile. Well, this is the second advert in a row for Tampax that I can't skip. I've had, so I don't know what's going on. 03459 455 555. It's back to the point I was making. The miracle man who really can make cellulite vanish. It's snake oil, guys. He's selling you snake oil. It's like a woman phoned up yesterday on JVS, the Consumer Hour. And she's going, well, I bought these tablets online that are supposed to help me lose weight and make me feel better. They made me feel worse. I'm thinking, of course they did, you silly moo. Of course they did. And now they've fleeced her out of hundreds of pounds. Hang on, I've listened to this. See if you recognise this. Here we go. I think this is it. Here we go. Do you recognise this yet? Get ready, guys. Don't know when it comes in, but it's going to come in. You ready, guys? Here it goes. It's quite a long introduction, it turns out. Here it comes. You ready? Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here we go. Here we come. Oh, that's not it. It's not the bit I thought it was. It may even be the wrong song. My typing in of Hindi is not as good as it used to be.
Oh, hang on.
You got it? Here it comes. Here comes the vibe. Here comes the vibe. Here we go. Here comes the vibe. You got it?
That one.
It's me. It's me. I don't know when they start. I do it better than this lot.
Well, you do it a
By
lot.
this lot, it's not a racial. Perdesi janana hai. Perdesi janana hai. Mujhe chole ke. Come on, guys. Huh? Now we're catering for everybody in the community.
I like the first one.
You did not like There's a better version of that. There's a brilliant version
Not
of
yours.
that. Oh, mate, steady on.
Right, listen.
Yeah, go on.
Helen in Milton Keynes is very happy.
Hey, nice one, Helen. That's unusual.
She says, please play more of that Dilla Rub Rub or whatever it's called. I'm dancing around my bed.
Della Rub Rub or whatever it's called. Flipping heck.
Yeah, and Adam in Milton Keynes is not a fan. Someone take the decks off Iain, please.
No, I'm loving it, guys.
Or is this going to be You Make Me Feel Brand New?
That's how we do it.
Oh.
That's how we do it.
Apparently.
Feeling love. Come here, sugar. I've got no idea what that is. Right, 0345, we'll stop playing with that now.
Also,
you can't fall down the rabbit hole on air.
Nige says, why does Catherine sound like the girl out of Car Share?
I've never seen Car Share.
It was really good.
Is it an annoying northerner?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, then that'll be it. then there's your answer. There's your answer. What more do you want?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the M1 southbound from Junction 10 for Luton Airport towards Junction 9 for Redbourne. It's also busy on the M25 anti-clockwise between Junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. The A10's also looking slow from Turnford, approaching the M25 Junction 25 for Enfield, and in Gerrards Cross, Amersham Road northbound still has a lane closed between Oxford Road and Kingsway because of a police incident. Looking at the A1, that's also busy from the Eton-Soken turn-off towards the Black Cat roundabout, but there are no major delays on the trains at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. 7:45, Thursday the 25th of June. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money, but people in Georgia have been breathing a sigh of relief. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view. Let's get the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. It's going to be a lovely day again today. Lots of sunshine around, a bit more cloud bubbling up here and there through the afternoon, but still some good spells of sunshine for the rest of the day. Just best through the morning, that's all. Temperatures on a par with yesterday's. We'll be looking at highs of around 23 or even 24 degrees, I think, for many areas. The winds are very light, and because of the sunshine, the pollen levels are also very high, so something to bear in mind. Hay fever sufferers for today. Some sunny spells then into the evening. Overnight tonight, lots of cloud around, staying dry, lows of 14 or 15 degrees. Quite a warm and muggy feel to things tomorrow, despite the fact that there'll be lots of cloud around, not too much in the way of sunshine until we get to the evening. There could even be a few showers around at times, but still feeling warm. Highs of around 19 or 20 degrees, so brighter and fresher as we head into tomorrow evening. Saturday looks lovely, lots of sunshine around, just a fresher feel to things. Highs of 21 or 22 degrees Celsius for the most part. Sunday too looks mostly dry, but it will be cloudier with a few spots of rain possibly into the evening. That's the forecast.
Every weekday morning.
One partially closed and the others didn't operate at all.
I have contacted other companies who do it professionally, and they said it should have been anchored down.
The JVS Show.
It was looked over by the garage and they told me do not move the vehicle anywhere. It's a complete death trap.
The JVS Show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
I'm getting nowhere. I've tried on numerous occasions to talk to the manager of this company.
If you need our help, email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk.
So they said, we're going to contact the customer, we're going to have a chat, and we're going to make a gesture to that customer.
And we could do the same for you.
Without your programme, I don't know what you'd do in the morning.
The JVS Show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. Who have we got? Who's this on Fader for?
Tushar.
Tushar! Good morning, Tushar.
Hi, Ian, you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, fella. How are you?
Good, thank you, mate. Good, thank you.
What have you got for us, Tushar?
Really good tunes you have on this morning, mate.
Mate, you know it. Listen, I know music. I know music. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a version... The version I played of Perdesi, it's from a film. There is another version of it. That's not the version I know. There's a really soft, sweet version that's got like an accordion in it, and it's just a really good pop song, and I can't find it. I'm going to have to dig that out.
Yeah, you have to look onto the YouTube, because there's a slow version in the same movie.
I found that, listen to us. Tusha, I found the slow version. That's not the version I'd heard. There is another version, and I've got it on cassette somewhere, and I've got it on cassette, but it's all written in, I'm guessing, Hindi or Urdu. I always get the two confused. Apologies, I know there is a difference. So the tapes I've got, the tapes I bought in Pakistan, I have to kind of flick through them to try and find what I'm looking for, because it's all over the show. It's good music, isn't it, though, Tushar?
Yes, it's really nice. Though it's a bit old school now, because I think it's from 90s, but
yes.
Yeah, but it's still good.
Classics. It's classics. Too sharp. Listen, I tell you what, we'll play some more either in the show today or on the show tomorrow.
All right, cheers.
Ta-ta. Thank you very much indeed. Okay. You see, Catherine?
It's not just him that loves it. We've also got a message through from Jade. Says she wants to download the Chewy Mooey song.
Yeah, of course you do.
What was it called, please?
Don't remember. Type in Dala Mendy Rab Rab. Honestly, type in Dala Mendy Rab Rab.
How are we spelling Dala?
Just, kind of any way you fancy it, really. It'll get there. It'll get you there. It's like we all know that the Queen's address is 1 London. The Queen, 1 London. It'll get there. Or if, you want to get her when she's going to be where she's actually living, it's the Queen, 1 Windsor. 03459 455 555. Let's have some of this, shall we? McDonald's has seen its fair share of petitions in the past. You remember there were those people that were, petitioning about McDonald's. But now they've got one appealing for them to open another store. Question mark. What? Megan Sloan has worked at McDonald's in Hitchin for 10 months. Now she wants the fast food restaurant to open a branch in Biggleswade. Well, Megan joins me now. Good morning, Megan.
Hiya, good morning.
Good morning. Why do you want to open a McDonald's in Biggleswade?
Well, I think it would give good employment to Biggleswade and the surrounding areas, because there isn't one up until Boston or Bedford.
Right.
And I think it would be such a good opportunity for somewhere else to go and to bring trade in. Because obviously the retail park is very clothing-based at the minute, except for the M&S coming up.
It's not just because you live in Biggleswade and it's less distance for you to travel to work, is it?
No, I live in Sandy, but I also think there's not many places to go for fast food or things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be nice to have somewhere. There was a Burger King used to be up in Sandy. That went quite a few years back now. But I think it would be somewhere to bring in the trade for Biggleswade. And I think it's such a good place to work. Honestly, I really enjoy my job. And I think it would be so good to have, because it brings a lot of young people in from after school. They get the good opportunity to get a good job.
Well, is it a good job working in McDonald's? Because we often hear that the employees don't get paid very much. They have to work very long hours. There are really strict rules they have to follow. That it's not a particularly human place to work.
Well, I believe that's completely wrong. For me, honestly, the people I work with are so funny. You can have a good laugh as well as getting work done. Even my managers are lovely. I don't think, the money's all right. It's better than quite a few places, especially for young people. And I just honestly think it's fun. There's not a time when you're sitting there.
What fun do you have at working in McDonald's? Because I don't know. I have not had. I've never worked in. I've worked in shops. I hated working in shops. It used to really make me anxious. So what's the fun part of working in McDonald's?
Because you find a lot of the people you work with become your friends.
Oh.
Like, only the other day we all went up to Thorpe Park for a crew event.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was really nice. That was really lovely. Everyone had a good laugh.
Shouldn't we be aiming higher? Now, listen, I've only just started eating meat in the last 15 months, and I like a McDonald's. I love it because they're a bit squeaky, aren't they? When you do what I mean? When you bite them, they're squeaky.
Squeaky?
It kind of squeaks in your mouth, the meat, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Do you like McDonald's food?
Yeah,
it's wicked. It's nice. But shouldn't we as a society be aiming a little bit higher than McDonald's in terms of our nutritional input and also, where we want young people to end up working?
I think for young people, it's a great starting point. Because honestly, it's given me so much confidence.
Yep.
It's my first job at McDonald's, and it's given me so much confidence. To go on to another employment is such a good starting point.
What other you've been there for? How long have you been working there?
10 months now.
10 months. Okay,
yeah.
And and you sound like a very confident young woman. How many signatures have you got on this petition?
So far, it's just under 199.
Oh, that's. How many are you hoping to get?
Well, I'm hoping to get a few hundred.
I've just had an email from April who says every time this is mentioned on the Biggleswade Facebook page, more people say no than say yes.
I think people are more worried about things like litter and things like that.
Yeah.
And it taking trade away from the town, but I really don't think it would. I mean, any place that opens up is going to bring, litter and things like that. It's just how people treat it.
plus the online petitions, April continues, has been going 2 months and 2 days. 2 months, and 2 days ago it only had 43 signatures.
Yeah, but as you can see, it's gone up quite a lot. Nearly 50 signatures.
Yeah. Oh, it's now at 100, I've just been told. So you've reached 100. I get... The thing is, people can be quite snobby about these kind of places, can't they? And they can kind of think, I don't want one of them near me.
Yeah.
And it does create a mess. And I know that McDonald's have a very good initiative for cleaning up kind of the area directly outside of their store. But in an era when we're all worried about obesity and childhood obesity, is McDonald's really the best thing to be promoting?
I think a lot of people would worry about, obviously, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It depends what you eat. Anywhere that could go up, I'm sure, even if a beautiful restaurant went up, that could always, it depends how you eat it. If you could go along to McDonald's and have a Big Mac, or you can go along to McDonald's and have a salad. It depends what you have.
Yeah.
It's your choice rather than them.
Final question. Have you spoken to McDonald's about this, Megan, about opening up this new store? Have you kind of been in touch with their management?
Yeah, I spoke to the Twitter account and they've sent me through to the press office.
Hey, nice.
Emailed them.
Okay. Have they caught the Hamburglar now?
The what?
Have they caught the Hamburglar now?
I can't say they have, I don't think.
Okay, so the Hamburglar's he's still at large, is he?
Probably, yeah.
See, that's just going to, people in Biggleswade are going to be reluctant to open one if there's a chance that the Hamburglar's going to turn up.
Yeah.
Burgle their hamburgers. Okay, I guess. Oh, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that the authorities are looking for him. Megan, I appreciate your time and well done. Let's see how this turns out. That's Megan Sloan. 03459 455 555. He's still at large. They seek him here, they seek him here. They seek the flipping Hamburglar every bloomin' where. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. 81333. Start your text 3CR. It's odd to get a text have a petition saying you want to have more McDonald's. That seems like a very odd thing to do. Your thoughts on that, please. You can email as well. 81333. Start your email with, hello Iain, nice to have you on board. Who's on Fader 3? Who's there? Who's that? Where am I going? Catherine, where am I going?
Hang on. Fader 2.
Go
Fader 2.
Oh, Carl's in Bedford. Morning, Carl.
Good morning, Iain.
What you got for us, boss?
I've got a Sir Lenworth of Henworth story for you.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you may know him better as Lenny Henry. We are looking for Sir Lenworth of Henworth stories. What have you got?
When I worked for Woolworths in Reading, I once tried to sell him a pack of wagon wheels. It was one of those impulse purchases that all retailers have to try and flog, and probably the reason why Woolworths went under in the end. But I didn't realise it was him at first because he had a beard and he had his hood up. He looked anything but Premier.
Yeah.
And when I offered him the wagon wheels, he made a joke about he would only accept them if they were wheels for Porsches, which wasn't particularly funny.
What? That doesn't even make sense. Would you like a wagon wheel, sir? Only if it's a wheel of a Porsche. What?
Yep, that's what he
He's
said.
He's getting knighted for that.
Yeah.
Not that specifically, but that's part of his oeuvre.
And the saddest part of the story, Ian, is I laughed at that.
You sucked up to Sir Lenworth of Henworth?
Yep.
If you love him so much, why don't you go and marry him?
Well, I've been petitioning for years for the Queen to knight him, and finally I've had my wish, so...
Carl, thank you very much indeed. It reminds me, when I worked in HMV, talking about working in shops, when I worked in HMV in Slough, Sir Lenworth came in and was mooching around and everyone's going, flipping out like Sir Lenworth.
He won't be doing his own shopping now, will he?
No, of course not. He'll employ Dawn French to do it for him. 03459... Thank you, Carl. Excellent call. 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1M, it's starting to look busy southbound from junction 8 for Hitchin to 7 for Stevenage. On the M25, it's slow anti-clockwise from junction 20 for Kings Langley to 15 for the M4. And the A41 is also very slow now southbound from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off towards the M25 at junction 20 for Kings Langley. In Gerrards Cross on Amersham Road, that's northbound, a lane is still closed between Oxford Road and Kingsway because of a police incident. But looking at the speed sensors, it's not causing any delays at the moment. And in Bedford on the A6, that's looking really slow slope at Manton Lane and Shakespeare Road where the roadworks are. On the train departure boards, there aren't any delays showing up at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. 03459 455 555.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: millions of pounds lost in Bedfordshire Naira project. Police name Buckinghamshire murder victim. And council publish results of Luton survey.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project at the Quest Pit near Stewartby. But after 8 years, it hasn't been built, and it appears that nearly all the money's been lost. Administrators say the return to the taxpayer is minimal. Tony Hare is an Elstow parish councillor.
I think it's disgusting, quite frankly. This is just money which is, well, I mean, I thought for quite a long while now it was never ever going to be seen again. And that is the case. Naira is finished, all the people around it, the banks that were behind it are all finished, and the money's gone missing.
Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. Thames Valley Police say she had been strangled. A murder investigation is underway. A 50-year-old man from Hayes, who was arrested on suspicion of murder, has been released without charge. A motorcyclist has been airlifted to hospital with multiple injuries after a head-on collision with a car in Hertfordshire yesterday evening. It happened just before 6 p.m. on the B656 Codicott Road between Hitchin and Langley Village. Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town. Of the 957 people who completed it, almost half had what was termed a negative or strongly negative view, citing words such as overcrowded and dangerous to describe the town. More from Sophie Solaria.
Luton Borough Council commissioned the survey so it could paint an accurate picture of people's perception of the town. 43% of those rated their experience of Luton as either fairly or very negative. As well as submitting words such as dangerous and dirty to describe the town, more than a quarter cited crime levels to be an issue, while others said Luton lacked integration and held a bad reputation.
David Cameron will formally present his proposals for European Union reform at a summit in Brussels today. It's the first time the issue of renegotiating Britain's membership has been put before all 28 EU leaders, but the summit will also discuss the Mediterranean migrant crisis and the financial situation in Greece. Giraffes at Whipsnade Zoo in Bedfordshire have been undergoing walking tests so researchers can work out whether their long legs are a help or a hindrance. They'll also try to understand why giraffes developed such long limbs. Chris Basu led the research.
We can start to understand how can we better diagnose and treat lamenesses in these animals, which is really important from a veterinary perspective, and also as we go into the future, we're going to be relying on zoo animals more and more from a conservation point of view. So it's really important that we have a healthy and happy zoo population of giraffes.
In sport, England under-21s are out of the European Championships after a 3-1 defeat to Italy. The weather, sunny spells with some cloud but feeling warm, a maximum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. I'm in the window seat today. I broke. Okay, listen, we've been in a new building for, it's a week now. It's a week, just over a week. And so yesterday, to celebrate the first week of being here, I broke the studio. So I'm now in JVS's studio. I'm in what I believe is the... hang on, this is Studio 1. That would imply this is the best studio. What... Anyway, if you want to come and expose yourself behind us, you can. There's a window. I can see the park. Tony Fisher's joining me. Tony, we could be in for a treat if in the next bit, if I look away from you, it's not because your face repulses me. Well,
I'm just waiting for a giraffe to go past.
There we go. It's because someone will be standing behind you. Oh my God, look at that! Yeah! Totally owned him there. He looked around, guys.
Saw a bin.
Yeah, well. 03459 455 555 is the phone number.
across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Catherine,
Yes.
have we...
You got a test.
Well, have we?
Well, yes.
What's that? Is that me? Hang on. That's you?
No.
It's you.
No, it was him.
It's not me.
It was him, boss.
Oh.
You got a test.
Zoe. Oh.
You've got to bring your computer in.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Shush, I'm reading a
Okay,
text.
go on, read
You
it.
got a text.
Go on. Okay.
You got a test.
Zoe says, Megan's McDonald's is my local branch. Prepare for some ownership.
Okay.
Service is slow and orders are consistently wrong. Perhaps staff should have less fun and concentrate more on actually providing a service.
No, you can't knock people having fun at work. I mean, listen, we get paid for this. We don't actually have fun.
I mean,
it's not until now that we've moved near a boozer, we'll be having a lot of fun. But you can't knock people having fun at work. But I just wonder how many people would agree. What are you doing?
Standing up that cardboard little piece of paper there.
It's called a bag. How do you not know the word for bag?
That's good. There's 50p here.
Yeah, it's mine.
Do you want it?
Hey, should we play toss? Should we play toss the coin? Right, I'm holding up a paper bag. You missed.
There you go.
Right, you hold a paper bag.
Oh,
got him in the plums. Didn't miss.
Wow.
Anyway,
guys,
we're doing a radio show, yeah?
We're doing it. We are on air.
And another person says, this is Lisa, again, ownership of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Morning, I live in Biggleswade. No to Mackie D's.
Yeah.
Why, you wonder why? Well, she tells you. Full of chavs. We don't need it. I would hate that. We'd have M&S come in and Biggleswade is full of coffee shops and charity shops in Biggleswade. So the new shops will be a fresh of fresh air.
A fresh of fresh air. Farty. 03459. I couldn't say that at BBC London. Got told off for saying that. Told off for saying my boys call a Monkeys song Last Train to Clarksville, Last Train to Fartsville. Told off. Now, personality-led radio. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. 03459 455 555. Did I just say that out loud? Well, I won't be back there again. Now, on to more serious things. This story is a story that we on this show, on this station, have been following for a long time, and our reporter, Tony Fisher, is constantly bugged by this story. It's really,
one of my bugbears. It's just one of my stories. I'm
this
afraid
is dragged on for a long time.
It's quite important.
No,
though.
it's a great story. It's an incredible story. And it's just one of those ones that amazes me, having not worked in kind of a news forum before, how frustrating and long these things can drag on for.
This story has got more and more frustrating over time.
Let's have a look. It's the former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been home to the world's largest aquarium. That's still in Georgia. The quarry has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money was invested in the Naira project. But after 8 years, it hasn't been built. And it appears that nearly all of the money, well, guess what? It's gone for a Burton. The new owners haven't said what they're going to do with the 140-acre Quest pit near Stewartby. Tony, you have been following this, I'm guessing, from the start. For those who don't know, Naira, what is it? What was it supposed to be?
Naira stands for National Institute for the Research into Aquatic Habitats. Catchy, I know. First got the go-ahead in 2007, approved by Bedfordshire County Council. The Deputy Leader Richard Stay, described it as iconic, which would put Bedfordshire on the map. The chairman of Naira, Keith Adelman, said it would be a world-class facility which everyone can be proud of. Outline planning permission was granted in 2009 for the proposed £600 million scheme. That planning permission, as I reported back in September, expired in September last year, basically spelling the end of it. It went into administration. Now, 8 years on from its original inception in Bedfordshire, it's still just an old clay pit which has been sold to a company formed just 2 months ago, and the taxpayer has lost out on millions of pounds.
How do you know it's been sold? This kind of thing doesn't pop up on the
No,
estate
it doesn't
agent's
pop
window,
up.
does
I've
it?
been badgering the administrators. Apparently, I've been the only journalist badgering the administrators about this.
Well done.
So I've waited and waited and waited, and yesterday I eventually got a statement which unfortunately doesn't tell us very much because various other interested parties have told them not to say very much. But anyway, what it says is basically property insolvency specialist Moorfields Corporate Recovery Limited have successfully completed the sale of Quest Pit in Ampthill Road Road House and Conquest. A bit of history about the pit, and it then reiterates what I've already said, that in September it was granted outline planning consent, but that elapsed in September last year.
They're an insolvency company, so they would have got it for a song, wouldn't they? That would have been a pure bargain.
Well, it's not them. They are in the they were this. They've
sold it. Excuse me.
No, they're managing the sale of it, so they've sold it to someone. Trouble is, we don't know who they've sold it to. It's a company called Quest Pit, ironically Limited, fronted by two bankers, ex-Lehman Brothers bankers, but they're just the front. We don't know who is actually behind this. He did indicate that was someone involved in football. I don't know. We don't know. I know. It sounds crazy. But also, the plans, apparently the new plans, involve something not too dissimilar to what Nara was looking at.
All the public money invested in the scheme has gone.
All pretty much
gone.
That's
why this is important, okay? Because on the surface, like, okay, so we're not going to get the world's largest aquarium. Yeah. But you're right to pursue this, and well done you for doing it, because this is... I hate these things where, where Cub Scouts are getting closed down and libraries are getting closed down, and we've got to tighten our belt. Well, and yet £4 million is allowed to be...
Look at the front page of The Sun, there's something about we're funding some weird fish, some tropical fish, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So, millions spent on that. Okay, well, millions has been spent on this project... Seed money, as they call it, been put into this project. Why couldn't they just raise the money privately?
Yep.
Hey, if it was going to be such a success, why couldn't they raise it privately?
Never going to get that money back, are we?
Well, it was about 3.8 million at the time, back in 2007-8. But with interest, that's gone up to at least 6 million now. And the administrator says that the return to the taxpayer on this sale is minimal.
Yeah.
I think we're talking thousands. So basically, there's been very little return. We don't know what it's going to be used for. As I say, the then Deputy Leader of Beds County Council said there is value in the intellectual property rights, the planning permission, the actual land value, more than adequately covers the value of the loans made to Nara. Well, yes, guess what? It hasn't. And the main thing is, Ian, that the two parties responsible for making this loan, Bedfordshire County Council and EDA, East of England Development Agency, which is a regional government body, Quango, both are now no longer exist. So basically, we've got no one to hold to account for the public money that has been put into this project, which has just fallen flat on its face.
That's the thing. It seems to be the more money that and I'm not suggesting this is embezzlement, I'm kind of looking at bank, and the more money that is corruptly used or is lost or is wasted or is eaten up, the less chance there is of anybody being forced to put their hand up or stand, heaven forfend, stand in front of a judge and explain themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a scheme that was a little bit pie in the sky. A lot of us thought it was a bit pie in the sky. I think councillors probably did, in all honesty, think it was going to put Bedfordshire on the map, but I think they were just... They're
two things.
They were clouded by something.
I've got a map, and I'm sure Bedfordshire's on it. I've not seen it for a long time. And I thought it was an aquarium. You say they were going to put a pie in the sky.
Yeah.
I would pay top dollar to see that.
Yeah.
Where are we going to take our kids to go and see
I don't know.
expensive fish now?
Well, the other thing is, and the other argument for it, or against it always, was that Centre Parks is just down the road. If you know the geography, Centre Parks literally just down the road. So how would that scheme fit in with Centre Parks just down the road? There's too much competition. Just finally, I have been talking to Nadine Dorries, who is the local MP. She has told me this would always be the final outcome. No Nara, lost to the taxpayer, and a small group of men did very well out of the Mid-Beds Council taxpayers. That is what she's told me.
Okay, that's great. We haven't got a webcam in this studio, have we? Is there a webcam in here?
No, I don't think so.
That's great.
No.
That's a great relief for everybody involved.
Yes, I think we ought to.
Do you want to say hello to Matty Bum Bum?
Yes.
Hello.
Is he all right?
Hello.
Are you all right?
Yes, fine. Yeah.
How's it going?
Great.
Having a nice morning?
Well, not too bad.
Not too bad. Is this quite cheery for you?
No. I want to speak to Dave, actually, if he comes back on the...
To Dave? Dave who?
We know Dave.
Oh, Dave from Luton?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure if he's up and running yet.
Oh, he will.
He will be. So you're phoning us to speak to Dave?
No, I'm phoning up to speak to Iain. But
Iain?
It was great to hear Dave on the radio this week.
Was it?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like Dave.
Okay. He's a nice man, isn't he?
He really is, yeah.
Yeah, Ian's just temporarily taken leave of his senses, I think. He's in the building, though, so you can be rest assured of that. Would you rather talk to Ian or Dave, or... Do you know who I am?
Ian has just left the building.
No, I didn't say that. No, I said he's still in the building.
I don't know who you are.
You don't know who I am?
No.
Oh. That's a bit disappointing.
Yes. You sound a bit like Ian, boring.
Ian who?
You sound a bit like Ian. You sound boring too.
I sound boring too?
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Yes. No, I think I'm far more interesting than Ian. Got better dress sense anyway, that's for sure.
That wouldn't be hard for you.
No, wouldn't it? Okay. What are you up to this morning?
I wanted to speak to Ian.
Ian? Who's Ian?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We've just spoken to CCTV and they said there's been an accident on the M1 northbound at junction 14 for Milton Keynes. It's a multi-vehicle accident, meaning it's been blocked northbound. Also nearby there's been an accident on the M1 southbound at junction 11 for Dunstable Road, and it's causing it to be really busy along Dunstable Road and on the High Street North going southbound along the A5. Elsewhere it's busy on the M25 anti-clockwise between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 15 for the M4. And on the train departure boards there aren't any reports of any delays at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
It is 8:16. It is Thursday, the 25th of June. Those pills are kicking in, guys. The last 45 minutes is going to be it's going to be like a McDonald's party at Alton Towers. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view.
Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
The book is all about how you can use nature to make walking a detective game. There's no cost to spending 10 minutes looking at all this stuff. Three mums from Hertfordshire have got something a little bit different planned. This weekend they're walking the 100 kilometres.
We've done lots of training and we're aiming to complete it within 24 hours.
Nick Coffer.
Is that a maze in front of your house?
It's called a parterre.
Oh, it's a parterre, is it?
I planted it myself with 540 plants, so I know it's a parterre.
Award-winning Milton Keynes sports journalist Mike Calvin has written Gareth Thomas's autobiography.
I've got to think what you think, I've got to see what you see, I've got to hear what you hear, and that will be an inherently painful process.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC
Legend.
Three Counties Radio.
And I'm not talking about Coffer, I'm talking about the guy that made this possible.
This is Iain Lee.
Legend.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
High five, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. You are a player and not a sayer. That is awesome. I'm sat here going, I can't get compelled, man. Can't get compelled, all right. And you went, get out of the way, old peasant. I'll show you how to do this. You spin this, you hit this, you flip this, you play with the doodah. Wazoo! And it worked! It worked! So you are a player, sir. And I'm going to have to... I wrote something about you on an internet website. I'm going to take that down.
Delete that now.
I'm going to delete that now. That's unfair. I was exposing you as a sexual pervert.
Oh, thanks very much.
Because that seems to be the thing to do.
Yeah, thanks.
How are you this morning? You all right?
I'm all right, thank you, yes. What are you doing in my studio?
I broke the other one.
You've ruined all the lighting. I like it nice and romantic in here. You've got it very bright. It looks like some kind of abattoir.
It's not called ruining the lighting. It's called turning the lights on. You can turn them off again.
I like them dim.
Like your... No. I accidentally spilt coffee all over the new computer yesterday and it crashed in there. So it's fine. It's getting sorted out. I think they've got insurance, although Lawrence is now saying that he forgot to post the thing. I think he pocketed the 50 quid himself. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It will get sorted out.
Oh, good.
That's an absolute promise. Hey, here's an interesting thing.
What?
July the 17th, being made in Luton, local and vocal, the Sinclair Spectrum Vega. It's a ZX Spectrum that's got like 10,000 games on it. I'm getting one delivered, paid for it. They've got a TV round the corner. Do you fancy playing with my Jet Set Willy?
You seem a bit wired today. Are you all right?
Yeah, mate.
What's that?
Pills. Holston. Do you want to come and play on my Jet Set Willy when I get it?
No, thank you.
I should be able to get it up round the corner.
No, thank you.
You don't fancy having a little waggle?
Absolutely not.
That's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame. Catherine, you're going to have a go, aren't you?
Sorry?
What's in your show this morning?
Coming up on this morning's Big Phone-In from 9, I'm going to be asking, what advice would you give to the council to make Luton a better town? We've been waiting for nearly 2 years, but finally Luton Borough Council have released a survey revealing people's perceptions of the town. Of the 957 people who took part in the poll, almost half had what was termed a negative or strongly negative view of Luton. Common themes in the survey are that the town is considered too dirty, too dangerous and too diverse. Well, a week ago, the Deputy Council Leader, Sean Timoney, told me that Luton Borough Council has learnt lessons from the survey. From 9 this morning, I'd like your reaction to this. What advice would you give to the council to make Luton a better town? Maybe there's something that you have noticed about Luton. You thought, if only they'd do that, Luton would have a much better image and a much better reputation. From 9 this morning, I'd love your calls, your thoughts on 03459 455 555.
And by the way, yesterday I was trying to remember yesterday's Consumer Out that when the call started with, "Well, Jonathan, I bought these tablets online that are supposed to help me lose weight and make me feel better. Well, it hasn't worked." "Oh, you don't say." "Oh, really? Oh, you don't say." I thought that was going to be... I'm so glad her complaint went on to be, "and they keep taking money," because I thought she was going to say, "Well, I want my money back because they don't work." Why? I don't understand the mindset. And people obviously fall for this. They obviously fall for these Nigerian email scammers because these things keep happening and keep getting sold. But, you know, if you go on Facebook and it says, revealed, Dawn French's weight loss secrets, click on this and buy these... Why does anybody fall for that? I don't understand the mentality. I thought we were all more intelligent than that.
Right. Well, I mean... I guess some of these adverts can look very convincing. You can look at them and think, well, this looks like a bona fide company. This is...
Some of them are selling bona fides.
Medical advancements are coming along in such a fashion that maybe they have now created a tablet that helps me lose weight. Some people are very trusting, not as sceptical as you or I.
Yes.
So maybe that's why I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Liar.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call. Audrey's in Bedford. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning.
What would you like to say?
I'd like an idea to make Bedford a better place for elderly pedestrians.
OK.
At the moment, there's a campaign for cyclists against drivers of cars.
Cyclists against drivers of cars. OK, yep.
That's all over the television.
Right.
Very national thing.
Yes.
There's nothing at all about the cyclists who are dangerous on the pavements.
Right.
And when one of your reporters is out and about, if he could take notice of that and speak to the cyclist, nobody is allowed to say anything to them apart from the police.
Well, you're allowed. No, that's not. Who's told you that?
The traffic wardens who are coming back to Caldwell Street over Town Bridge.
But the traffic wardens,
uniform.
Yeah, the traffic wardens. The cyclists on the street is not within the traffic warden's remit, is it?
No.
No, but other people can. You can speak to them if you want.
Yes, but would you?
Well, if they nearly knock me down, I'll tell them to go away. Of course I would.
I'm sorry, but my age group doesn't use that language in any case.
Your age group invented that language.
No, we didn't. Iain, stop it.
Have you got children?
Please,
Have you got children?
I've got grandchildren.
You invented that as well.
No, I'm sorry, but this is really serious.
I know, and I'm being serious. Why you're saying no one's allowed to talk to them apart from the police? Well, that's not true, is it, Audrey? Because you can talk to them.
No one is allowed to control them apart from the police.
And their parents.
Well, they're not there. No, please, I'm sorry. I don't want to be too long.
Well.
The streets are clear.
Yes.
But the cyclists are on the pavement, and if we move to one side to avoid broken pavement, something like that.
Yes.
The cyclist just hits us.
Okay, how many times have you been hit?
I haven't been hit.
Right,
I'm
okay.
more careful.
Well, how many people do you know who've been hit?
I know people that have been bumped.
They've been what?
Shoulders get bumped and so on.
Okay, and were they injured?
You have really been touched, and it's serious. And I'm sorry, I want to talk seriously about it.
No, Audrey, I don't understand why me questioning you, and obviously you don't have a little bit of fun, that's fine, but me questioning you, that is being serious. You've not been affected by it. How many people do you know who've been hit by cycles?
Fortunately, we have more sense than the cyclists.
So none?
And we've learnt to look over our shoulders and so on.
Right, so how many people do you know who've been hit by...
I don't know.
Well, is it none, or is it 1, or is it 10?
If I don't know, how can I tell you that?
Well, Audrey, why are you getting so angry? I'm just asking. You just said that you knew some people that had been hit by bikes.
Whose shoulders have been hit, but I don't remember them.
Okay. May I suggest that you're phoning up about a problem that you perceive might be dangerous. No, let me finish. That you perceive might be dangerous, but nothing's happened. It's annoying. You can tell them to get on the... When I was a kid, old people were always telling me to get off the pavement.
Go on.
No, I've got nothing else to say.
In this day and age, would you...
Yes.
...tell your younger or older friends to speak to these youngsters? Things were different when you were younger, when you were a kid.
Okay. Well, Audrey, have you spoken to the police about this?
Yes,
and what
they can't do anything.
I mean, how often do you see it? Do you see it every day?
Yes.
And are you sure these pavements are... Because some pavements, which is very odd, are bicycle lanes and for pedestrians. There's one near me.
Yes,
it took me ages to work
Recently,
that out.
Unfortunately,
it took me ages to work that out.
Unfortunately, they've opened up the one, Lurk Street through to Harbour Street, and that really is...
So that is for bikes and people?
Now...
Well, then what's your problem?
The cyclists are regardless of anyone but themselves.
But it's for it's for both. The problem's with the council then for opening that road up to cyclists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand what your beef is with cyclists.
At the moment, there is a national campaign because car drivers open doors and there are cyclists going around with headlamp cameras and so on.
Okay.
And it's a national campaign.
I've not seen it.
The cyclists are claiming that they are in danger because of car doors and so on and so on.
I wonder how many cyclists have been killed by cars.
Well, I don't know.
No.
But
and how many cars...
Excuse me, may I say something?
...have been killed by cyclists?
Excuse me.
Pardon?
Excuse me, may I say something?
Of course you may, Audrey, yes.
I simply wanted to ask if your programme could just mention that cyclists aren't perfect, although there is a lot of sympathy for them at the moment.
Yes.
Couldn't that sympathy be extended to pedestrians who feel in danger from cyclists?
No groups of people are perfect. There are very, very naughty cyclists. There are very, very naughty drivers. There are flipping awful pedestrians.
Naughty walkers.
There are naughty old people.
But please, you have the opportunity
to do what?
To mention that cyclists aren't perfect, and could they please?
They know they're not perfect.
When one of your reporters is out and about, would it be possible for them to just take notice of the cyclists and, as you say, speak to them because they are fitter and younger than I am? And my friends are. It really is a menace. It's dangerous in Bedford.
But you've not been hit personally or injured?
No, because I'm got more sense than some people. And I don't have to use a walker wheelie thing, which makes it even more difficult. And I'm not deaf, and so on.
Okay. Well, Audrey, you've put that message across very nicely. I'm hoping the cyclists will be listening.
Well, could your reporters as well?
I don't think the reporters...
You've got the headline, make Luton a better place. Can we please make Bedford a better place for pedestrians?
That's a great slogan. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. You're listening to the Best of podcast. Coming up next, this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is blocked northbound because of an accident at junction 14 for Milton Keynes, and it's causing delays now from junction 13 for Bedford. It's also really slow southbound on the M1 just after junction 14 for Milton Keynes, with people slowing down to look over to the opposite carriageway. Elsewhere on the M1 southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and 9 for Redbourne, it's also looking really busy southbound. And in Dunstable on the B579 Dunstable Road, that's been partially blocked by an accident as at the junction for the M1 junction 11 Dunstable Road on the roundabout there. In Bedford on Paula Radcliffe Way, that's very busy at Shakespeare Road where the roadworks are, and in Hemel Hempstead on Breakspear Way there are queues in both directions between Leverstock Greenway and the M1 junction 7 for Hemel Hempstead. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Simon Oxley. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrard's Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. A motorcyclist has been airlifted to hospital with multiple injuries after a head-on collision with a car between Hitchin and Langley Village yesterday evening. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England under-21s are out of the European Championships after a 3-1 defeat to Italy. Gareth Southgate's side finished bottom of their group.
Punished for 3 lapses of concentration, really. But I think that's young players, I think that is what you get. I don't believe there's anything between 5 or 6 of the teams that are here, but on any one day you have to do everything right to get through in the knockout, which effectively tonight was, and we've just come up a bit short.
Mo Farah's coach Alberto Salazar says he will never permit doping among his athletes. He's written a 12,000-word open letter denying accusations he violated anti-doping rules. There's no suggestion that the double Olympic champion Farah has broken any rules. British athlete Jenny Meadows says Farah will now have to decide his next move.
Mo's done the right thing. He's got himself to France. He's training hard, and Alberto seems to come up with enough evidence. What I think Mo will think, well, that's enough for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kept that relationship now.
Stevenage swimmer Martin Walton competes in the final of the 200 metres individual medley at the European Games in Baku today. He'll be looking to collect his 3rd medal, as Jeff Doyle reports.
Walton, who represents Hatfield Swimming Club, won his 2nd medal yesterday at the Games, a silver in the mixed 4x100 metres freestyle relay. He helped win gold in the all-male version on Tuesday. Now it's the individual events. Walton qualified 5th fastest in the semis yesterday for the 200 metres individual medley, but he missed out on the 100 metres freestyle final after failing to qualify.
BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well. 03459 455 555. About 2 hours ago, we sent Justin Daly out on the mission to find out why giraffes have long legs. He managed to do that. It's because their feet smell. We then sent him out to try and find somebody who wasn't a spod. No offence to Simon and his children, they're the exception what proved the rule, that watches Blue Peter.
You're forgetting about Naughty Blue Peter of the 90s, where they had to repeatedly sit down on the sofa and say, now, I'm really sorry to you because I've let you down. I've let myself down.
That wasn't the naming of the kittens, was it?
It was.
That was in the 21st century.
It was the drug scandals.
Oh dear.
The competition's going wrong.
I remember the scandal when it came out that one of the gentlemen presenters was a homosexual.
They didn't make him apologise for that.
And one of the women had a pregnancy out of wedlock.
That was Janet Ellis.
And that baby that killed her television presenting career was Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
She did a murder on the dance floor.
Which killed music, ladies and gentlemen. We both went for a gag, both as good as each other.
Hey, and do you remember the Blue Peter Garden getting turned over?
Yeah, by a footballer. Wasn't Sol Campbell, who wants to be the mayor of London, who gave the most awful interview on another radio station the other day. I mean, terrible. Right, so get this, Simon, right? You think Sol Campbell, he wants to be mayor of London. I mean, he's a football. Who does he play for? Chelsea?
He used to play for Tottenham and Arsenal. He's retired now.
Okay, right. So they say to him, like, the London Underground's quite busy. What would you do to help overcrowding on the London Underground? I'd make some of the platforms a bit longer.
Oh.
Some of the platforms a bit longer. Is he for real? Should I be voting for him?
No.
Good. Okay. Well, I can't. 'Cause are you hanging around for anything? Or?
No, sorry. I thought. No, I'll go.
He thought you wanted to talk to him. I mean, there are nicer ways to kick someone out.
So you deliberately put the fan across here so I can't get out.
Oh yeah, you're mine now. No, you can listen. You go.
Straddle the fan. It's fine.
Nothing to say to you, but just do it quietly in a way that is not disturbing to the karma of the show.
Talking about.
Shh. Let's see how.
See if I can negotiate. There we go.
What a fuss.
All clear.
Gosh.
I mean, that really is.
You've got a caller.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have. It's Fader too.
Oh no.
It's Albert the meat packer.
Oh, good morning, Albert.
Morning, Ian.
What would you like to say to us? You're not going to have a go at me like Audrey did, are you?
Ian, it's serious. I want to be serious now.
Okay.
All right?
Well,
please, would you let me get a word in,
I
Ian?
think I'm being...
Would you let me speak?
Okay, yes.
Let me get a word in, for goodness sake.
Okay.
Right, we've got roads for cars. We've got tracks for cyclists.
Yes.
We need special tremolators like we got at the airport for old people to stand on.
Well,
to move them around.
No,
would you let me speak?
Sorry, Albert. Yeah, go on.
It's serious now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. We don't want old people getting bumped. Like Audrey said, Audrey spoke a lot of sense.
Well,
she
spoke
sounds like a
lot.
very strong woman.
Yeah, she's yeah. Okay. Listen, the thing about travelators, Albert, is don't stand on the travelator. Walk on the travelator.
No, you don't do that. They move for you. That's the whole point.
No, they're supposed to get you there quicker. If you stand on them, they get you there slower.
What's the point of having them moving then? Why don't we just have pavements? You're not talking sense, man.
No, but if you know, the point is so that you get there faster.
No. And if you do that, you need to stand to the right so the people can move past you on the left if they're in that much of a hurry.
Exactly. Well, thanks for calling, Albert.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
What she didn't mention as well, and this is the point, Audrey, if you want to call her... Oh, Audrey, come on any time. I was taking your point seriously-ish. I was taking it seriously enough, I think. Yeah, cyclists on the pavement... I can kind of jump out the way. It's not the biggest crime in the world. What I think is even worse, and she didn't mention this, pedestrians on the pavement, the texters, the Facebook updaters, the people reading books as they're walking along. Speaking of people reading books as they're walking along, saw a beggar the other day outside Jim Dale, near Jim Dale.
The show, not next to the elderly actor.
No, he doesn't bring him around. There was a beggar there. Beg him.
Well, that's what.
Guess what he was fiddling with?
Oh no.
Yeah. No, not that.
Oh.
A Kindle.
Oh.
He had a Kindle, right? Even if you got the Kindle for free, right?
Where's he downloading his books from?
Thank you. He needs Wi-Fi. All right, you can go to Costa's and register for Wi-Fi for free. You've got to pay for the books. Unless there are some hooky sites where you can download the books illegally. So he's either stealing digital books or he's got the money to pay for digital books.
Or he's only reading the classics that are out of copyright and you get for free.
Oh, is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's it.
I thought he had a copy of Grey, but I just don't know.
I just don't know.
You got a text.
You do.
Excellent.
You got lots.
Go on then, let's have some of them.
We don't need some fancy aquarium. We have the Japanese koi company, says Monty.
Yeah.
So he's seen a silver lining with the old Naira thing.
Speaking of koi, you know I've got stick insects.
Yeah.
How long I had those bad boys for?
Too long. Boring.
No, go on. About 8 months?
Yeah, 6 to 8 months.
Okay, they should have laid approximately 5 of them, approximately 700 eggs by now.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many they've laid? 0.
Right.
I've worked it out.
They're both boys.
No, there's 5 of them. I think there's only like 7% of stick insects are boys. Okay, so statistically, these are probably girls. I've been feeding them the wrong food for the last 7 months. I've been giving them the wrong leaves. I've been giving them ivy because I read somewhere you're supposed to give them ivy. You're not supposed to give them ivy. You're supposed to give them brambles. So yesterday I gave them brambles. I've never seen those guys move. They're all over the place. They're having it large. They're having some of this. They're swinging about. They're upside down. They're moving around. Because before they look like brown dead sticks and you'd have to flick them to wake them up. Now they're moving. They're having it. They're doing this. They're loving it. It's like they've been, it's like when Terry Waite got released from solitary confinement and all they've been feeding him on was a potato. And he came out and he went straight to Jenny's Burgers and stuffed his face. He made up for lost time very, very quickly, Terry Waite.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
And that's what these guys are doing.
Well, I'm glad for them.
Anything else?
Yes.
Go on.
Pat says, clean up areas of Berry Park. Oh, this is talking about the Luton survey.
Oh, yeah.
Clean up the areas of Berry Park, starting from Leagrave Road. Clear of the footpaths of shop stock in Berry Park and the scruffy temporary shop. Luton Borough Council should dedicate an officer to fining those spitting everywhere.
Oh.
Says Pat.
Well, that'll be me then.
Oh, no, you don't. Not in the street.
You know, I like a good spit. I tend not to do it in the street, but if I have to, I have to. A man's got to chew what a man's got to chew.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I've never felt the need to do that. It's not normal.
No, because it's not normal. It's your body. Speaking of spitting in the street or on the phone, 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You'll be more than welcome.
I've got a mouthful of sausage.
Can I tell you something funny that happened to me this morning?
Well, it certainly wasn't in the last 2.5 hours.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
Someone rang up to shout at me about a perceived rudeness on air with someone who's in on the joke.
Yeah.
And then slammed the phone down on me.
How rude.
How ironic.
There's 2 things here I want to mention before the end of the show. One is that you've seen this email retrieval function now.
Yes.
So often at work, you can kind of do it on the BBC emails, but you can't. Is you'll get Tony Hall wants to retract the email.
Which immediately makes me want to read the email.
Yeah, and the email is generally there. Very rarely. Once I was working in an office in another radio station in the evening. The guy that was doing the show after me was a plum. He was a nice guy. Wouldn't wish ill on him, but he was a plum, okay? And he was going to get the sack.
Oh.
Me, my producer, he and another producer and somebody else, tech op, was sat in the room. I knew he was going to get the sack. We were having a private email conversation about him getting the sack. I sent the email to his computer.
No!
Man alive, and I did it. And someone went, Iain, you have just sent that into And, you know, oh, God, I felt awful. Now, at that moment, he went to go to the bathroom, right? And I tried the retraction thing, and it didn't work, right? So I managed to get onto his computer and delete it, and then delete it from the trash. But boy, oh boy, would I have liked this feature here on Google. Many of us are familiar with the feeling of dread that comes from... But which bird lays the biggest egg? Many of us are familiar with the feeling of dread that comes from firing an email off too hastily. Brian says, are you hyper? I am going off you. I think you should be replaced. OK, Brian, thank you. But then somebody says, Iain, I have to say this is a brilliant show today. I woke up feeling lousy but feeling better. Many of us are familiar with the feeling of dread that comes from firing off an email too hastily, insulting the boss perhaps, or being too flirty with a colleague. But for users of Google's email service, it's a problem no more, provided they have their second thoughts swiftly enough. The internet company has officially added an undo send option to Gmail. It's your second life they've given you, giving users 30 seconds to stop a message leaving their account. The feature's been available to users for 6 years, tucked away in the experimental labs section of the service. Experimental labs?
I need to find that.
But after years of testing, it was added to Gmail's general settings on Tuesday. Oh, I have a little look to see. I have to have a little look for that, see if we've got it. We've all done it. I told you at the time I ranted and raved to a friend who was also my boss, but was a friend, about a show that I'd done that had been axed before it had even been shown. And I sent it to his colleague, who was not a friend, and it did not go down very well at all. 03459 455 555. We'll speak to Dealey about Blue Peter in a bit. Before that, let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Problems on the M1. Northbound 2 lanes have been closed because of a serious accident just before junction 14 for Milton Keynes. It's causing queues back from junction 13 for Bedford. It's also really slow on the M1 southbound though, from just after junction 14 for Milton Keynes, with people slowing down to have a look. In Milton Keynes itself, on the A421 Standing Way, it's slow from Salford Road at Milton Keynes South towards the Kingston roundabout as people divert off the M1. And elsewhere southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and 9 for Redbourne on the M1, it's looking very slow there too. In Dunstable on the B579 Dunstable Road, that's been partially blocked by an accident at the junction for the M1 and junction 11 for Dunstable Road on the roundabout, and it's busy on the A5 High Street North 2 in Dunstable between Sewer Lane and Church Street. In Hemel Hempstead, Breakspear Way is slow between Leverstock Greenway and the M1 at junction 7 for Hemel Hempstead as well. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Right, it's 8:46, weather coming up, but before that, these are your news headlines. Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrard's Cross on Tuesday morning as 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London. A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off, costing almost £4 million of taxpayers' money. And Luton Borough Council has released a survey outlining people's perceptions of the town, with almost half having a negative or strongly negative view. Right, let's get the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Let's not get the weather.
Every weekday from 3. Local stories.
People in Watford are being urged to celebrate their local heroes by creating a postcard in their honour. In other local news, rugby fans are being warned to watch out for fake World Cup tickets.
Roberto Peroni.
Now, a metal detectorist has discovered an archaeological find in a field near Royston in Hertfordshire. Taxi drivers in Luton are demanding to be allowed to drive in bus lanes at all times. There is to be a new station at the Leighton Buzzard Narrow Gauge Railway.
Roberto Peroni. Weekdays from 3 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Let's get Dealey up, please. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you can text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Lots of you texting in. Lots of you unhappy. Well, some of you unhappy with the way I dealt with Audrey. Some of you enjoyed the way that Audrey was. I just think. I tell you what annoys me, okay, is when people phone up to complain about such a big problem and how has it impacted on you. Oh, well, no, it's not affected me. Oh, right. Well, then where's your evidence it's a big problem? That's my concern, is where is your evidence it's a big problem? If you agree with Audrey that the situation of cyclists on the streets is a nightmare, 03459 455 555, I just make up that it is one of those things that... I make up that Audrey is angry about something, but she doesn't quite know what it is she's angry about, so she's going to choose cyclists. There are I see far more instances of annoying... pedestrians than I do cyclists. And I think, and I've done this in the past, Justin, I've been guilty of doing this in the past, of being really... doing that slight... Oh, we've lost Justin. Doing that slightly... OK, don't worry, I can talk for England, don't you worry about that. I've gone down that slightly lazy route in the past of having a pop at cyclists, because it's easy to do. And actually, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't really have that much of a problem with cyclists. Really? I have more of a problem with drivers, actually. I seem to get into more rough and tumbles with drivers than I do with cycling. Yeah, some of what cyclists do are annoying. When they ride like 2 or 3 abreast, that annoys me. Jumping red lights doesn't particularly annoy me. Going up on the pavement so it means they can go, it doesn't particularly annoy me. I have more of a problem with drivers and pedestrians. Pedestrians are the worst people on pavements. Using reading their books, on their phones, not looking where they're going. You're right, Giz.
Hey, boss.
I was just saying, Justin, but some people are upset with the way I dealt with Audrey, who's got a problem with cyclists in Bedford on the pavements. And I said, well, how many times have you been hit? Oh, I've not been hit.
Yeah.
And then, she kind of fudged it a bit, and that's fine. If I was rude, I apologise. I hope she took it in the spirit it was intended. But I think she was just looking for a bit of beef where perhaps there wasn't one. Yeah. And I've done the lazy radio thing of having a pop at cyclists. They're annoying, but I've been more annoyed with drivers and pedestrians. On the whole, cyclists haven't annoyed me that much.
Well, cyclists, to be fair, on the roads... You're protected in a car. Well, if you're riding a bike on the roads, the chances are you've got to be so careful because you don't want to be killed. Yeah. So they are going to be a lot safer. But some people have just got it in for cyclists. It doesn't matter what you say, they've got it in for them. But in saying that, cyclists, when I talk to them on the streets, they will say, not talking to you. Well, why is that? Because you're going to twist my words. No, we just want to get your opinion.
This is what we're going to do tomorrow. Can we put out? Can we embrace the cyclists tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's try and bridge the gap. Can you? I'm hoping you can take it to the streets.
Yeah,
Justin.
absolutely. Yeah.
Let's bridge the gap. I have done the thing of being slightly lazy and negative towards cyclists because it's easy to do. And actually, I did that before really forming my opinion on cyclists. I think cyclists are all right. I've got more problem with people in cars. Flipping pedestrians. The number of times... Remember when we went to that Luton football game? Yeah. And that young rude boy whacked into me. I've had that quite a few times. People walking into you because they're on their mobile phones. People reading a book as they're walking along.
I've seen it this morning. Woman with pushchair pushes the kid out into the road before she's even looked. That happens a lot.
To stop the traffic, they put the front wheel of the buggy in the road. Are you nuts? Put your head in the road, not your child.
I saw a guy this morning at 7 o'clock in Dunstable, and he was walking across the road whilst reading a book. Saw it. Absolutely saw it. Now, if he had been run over, he would have blamed the driver. No, it was his fault.
He should have blamed the author. Yes. Should have blamed J.K. Rowling. All right, tomorrow, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And Audrey, we'll get you back on and we will investigate your claims properly. This is what we're going to do. We're going to befriend the cyclist, and we're going to tell those pedestrians a little bit of truth.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's tear the pedestrian. I flipping hate pedestrians.
Let's turn the tables.
Catherine, that's tomorrow's show sorted. Excellent
Beautiful
stuff. Now, Blue Peter.
Yeah.
Story in the paper. Some young lad on Blue Peter is going to swallow a camera. What amazed me about that was not that I couldn't pronounce his name, not that he's going to swallow a camera, but that Blue Peter is still... Jonathan, by the way, if you need to come in and prep, then please do. It's just me and Justin. We're just filling now.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, literally. And sorry about that. It gets so hot in here. Is that Blue Peter is still going.
Yeah.
Blue Peter was only watched by the kids. It was watched by kids who had done their homework already. They were the kids, right, who'd go up to the teacher at the end of the day and say, "Excuse me, Myth, I don't think you've given us enough homework." Or as class was about to be dismissed, Myth, you forgot to give us our homework. And all the others are going, "Oh, flipping hell, Kath, what have you done that for? I bet you've done that. I mean, Myth, you forgot to give us our homework."
I have not done that.
Yes, you have.
School for me finished at 3:30. Homework did not exist in my household.
Wowzers.
Because
it started off like a Philip Larkin poem.
Listen, don't treat kids like that. It's overtime. You know, let them go to school.
It is overtime.
Learn,
Yeah.
and then in the evening have a social life.
Yeah.
Surely. So Blue Peter,
you were busy learning how to smoke.
Yes. I used to hate Blue Peter. I just thought it was
Oh,
dull.
it's
It was
dull,
dull and boring.
Dull.
Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I would prefer to sit at home and listen to tunes. So, you asked me earlier on to find something like a punk rocker who was into Blue Peter.
Yeah.
That was near enough impossible, I have to say. So I've kind of gone on the streets and tried to make this universal, to get a different perspective, from different countries. Are they into Blue Peter whilst living here, and people's memories and people's beef with Blue Peter? An all-rounder. Here's what happened. Let's get the Hong Kong perspective. Sir, Blue Peter, do you watch Blue Peter?
Blue Peter? No.
Malcolm, just going to put it out there. I think you'd be pretty tasty in a ruck. Were you a big Blue Peter fan when you were younger?
Yes. I used to like watching it for making stuff, the old matchboxes and stuff like that.
Right. If it was banned because it was too boring and too dull,
Yeah.
do you think that would be a great shame for kids growing up nowadays?
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah, I do.
Madam, you hated Blue Peter when you were growing up. Get it off your chest. Why did you hate it so much?
Just didn't like it, not the programme, that's all. Something about it, I just didn't like the people on there, I just didn't like it.
Does it feel good talking about that today, getting it off your chest?
Yeah, getting off my chest, yeah, it's been better talking about it, yeah.
Let's get the Romanian perspective. Do you watch the programme Blue Peter with your children?
No, I'm sorry.
I mean,
there you go, boss.
I feel a little bit uncomfortable talking about this because I'm in JVS's studio, Studio 1.
Yes, it's the window studio. This is the posh studio.
The top one.
Yeah, okay, mate, calm
My
down.
studio at the weekend as well.
And we're dissing... Really?
Yeah.
We're dissing Blue Peter. I bet he flipping loved it.
Oh, of course he
I
did.
bet
Look
he
at him.
flipping loved it.
Yeah!
You see?
Goldie the dog.
Yeah, you see, I knew he would. I knew
Bless him.
he would. Let's go to... Stick around, Justin.
Okay, no worries.
Let's go to Andy in Luton. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Ian.
You're through to Ian and Justin's Dusting Away the Blues laughter line. What would you like to say, miss?
I'd just like to say that with regard to cyclists, I am disabled. I walk with a stick, right? And
Can you prove that?
And if they, if they cycle on the pavement,
tap it.
It causes a lot of problems.
Right.
You might be able to jump out the way, but I can't.
I have
And nor
never...
can
All right, here's the thing. I've never had to jump out of the way of a cyclist, ever.
Well, I have. And did you see that video of the young girl who was run over by a cyclist?
Right.
She ran out of the house and the
Right.
bloke took her.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's disgusting. They
Yeah.
should not be riding on the pavement.
Okay, well then, in that case...
They go through red lights.
So do cars. Cars go
They
through...
don't
So...
pay anything.
Hello,
no,
Andy?
Pay anything towards road tax.
Hello,
There
Andy.
are
Yes,
plenty
Andy.
of pennies.
Hello, Andy.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, they do pay towards road tax because guess what? There's no such thing as road tax.
Well, the equivalent, basically.
Yeah, they pay their taxes, mate. And most cyclists, a lot of cyclists are also car users, so they do pay.
Yeah, well, there are blooming many.
No, don't. You can't just knock back every argument I've given you.
Well, I'm telling you, in London recently, I was crossing on a pedestrian crossing.
Right.
And a cyclist wove around me.
Right.
I'll tell you, it's disgusting.
Why
There's
is
not
that-
Enough room. There's not enough
Yeah.
room in London for cyclists.
Yeah,
The roads are
I've had cars do the same thing to me on zebra
No,
crossings.
They don't.
Oh, Andy, shut up.
never had that. I've
You've
never had
never.
that.
Well, I've had it loads of times, mate. Cars.
No, come on.
Oh, you're right, because all car drivers, Andy, are such decent, honest, honourable people. You're talking out your backside.
Car drivers get prosecuted.
No, they don't, though. They don't. I've seen them do just as many bad things.
No.
Andy. Daly, you're
It's just getting tense.
Andy, you've called up with a terrible, terrible point right at the end of the show. Can I ask you to call in tomorrow and I can... Yeah, could you do...
phone tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll tear you apart then. Thank you, Andy.
Wow.
You see what you've done? Tomorrow we're going to embrace the
Yeah,
cyclist.
let's do that. Okay.
Let's be the friend of the cyclist.
Yeah, let's try.
Let's see if we can get a procession of cycles, not nudie ones, because that is bang out
You
of
don't like
order.
that?
Oh, I don't. Well, you know, they had a naked cycle race through London recently, and they had to pull someone off.
He got excited.
He did. Oh, no, this is in the news. This was in the news. He was enjoying cycling so much that the judges had to go and pull him off. Outrageous.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, 2 lanes have been closed just before junction 14 for Milton Keynes, and that's causing delays from junction 13 for Bedford because of a multi-vehicle accident. It's also really slow on the M1 southbound with people looking over to the other carriageway just after junction 14 for Milton Keynes. On the A421 Standing Way, that's really slow as a knock-on effect between the Bedford and Milton Keynes South junctions and the Kingston roundabout. And in Dunstable on the B579, that's been partially blocked by an accident at the M1 junction 11 for Dunstable Road. It's on the roundabout. In Gerrards Cross on the A413 Amersham Road, there's still a lane closed northbound between Oxford Road and Kingsway, and the A404 southbound is really slow between the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout and the Bisham roundabout. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. I've been relegated to the guests chair because Jonathan Vernon-Smith is taking over and is getting very... Why are you so stressed, my love? Just calm down.
I know, but I'm having to press buttons I don't normally press.
You're going to have to do this again at midday with Nick.
I know.
Shall I go?
No. Yeah, go on.
All right, you have a good one.
Thanks very much.
We're wishing you I might come and look through the window.
Okay,
yeah?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Thursday. It's 9 o'clock. And on today's Big Phone In, what advice would you give to the council to make Luton a better town? We've been waiting for nearly 2 years, but finally, Luton Borough Council have released a survey revealing people's perceptions of the town. Of the 957 people who took part in the poll, almost half had what was termed a negative or strongly negative view of Luton. Common themes in the survey are that the town is considered too dirty, too dangerous, and too diverse. Well, a week ago, Deputy Council Leader Sean Timoney told me that Luton Borough Council has learnt lessons from this survey. Well, this morning I want to hear your reaction. What advice would you give to the council to make Luton a better town? Here's my telephone number for your call. It's 03459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News at 9:01. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: police name Buckinghamshire murder victim, millions of pounds lost in Bedfordshire Naira project, and David Cameron to meet fellow EU leaders.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Police in Buckinghamshire have named the woman who was found dead in a lay-by in Gerrards Cross on Tuesday morning. Detectives say 34-year-old Anita Kapoor from Hayes in West London had been strangled. A 50-year-old man from Hayes who was arrested on suspicion of murder has been released without charge. More from Lee Agnew.
Thames Valley Police say Anita Kapoor was last seen at 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning in Southall. She was wearing a black thigh-length coat with zips at the sides, black tracksuit bottoms with white writing down the sides and white Reebok trainers. Her body was discovered in the lay-by on the A413 Amersham Road just after 8:30. Officers were appealing to motorists in Gerrards Cross who saw anything suspicious to contact them. A lane closure is expected to remain in place for the next couple of days. Specialist officers are supporting the dead woman's family.
A former Bedfordshire quarry, which would have been the home of the world's largest aquarium, has been sold off. Almost £4 million of taxpayers' money